air signs didn't have their ass whooped. Like, I didn't have my ass whooped hell of fucking times, man, growing up. I whooped a lot of people's asses too, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't have our ass whooped. We ain't scared to get our ass whooped. So, we ain't scared to go into physical shit. So, like, you know, we don't think like, okay, like this is fuck you, man, I wanna do this shit. This shit might backfire. It's like, nah, motherfucker, like, it's a fucking gun. We gonna pull the trigger. You know, cheating. Most people say cheating is like when somebody sleep with somebody else behind somebody else's back, like you in a relationship, you go sleep with somebody else. Like, to an air sign, yeah, that's cheating, but like there's gonna be shit that's gonna lead up to the cheating. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know what I'm saying? So air sign, like, that's cheating. But a lot of times this shit don't get discussed. Like, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers just know that be into you. Like, if you a guy, you dating a girl, I mean an air sign girl, she might think you just lame as hell, you know what I'm saying? But she don't want to tell you that shit, so she just like kind of stuck with you. Like, there's like this air sign shit, like, it's like, okay, I'm in a relationship with this motherfucker. Like, they'll date you and don't even like an air sign motherfucker get a relationship with somebody they don't even like. This is them want to hurt their feelings and they know that they need them type shit. Water sign motherfuckers prey on this shit. You know what I'm saying? So then later on, you hit a water sign, come like, oh, you fucking cheated on me. It's like, motherfucker, they was getting into you like that, and you was lucky you was even with this motherfucker. Like, they kind of did you a favor by being with you in the first place. Like, this is literally our air time. You shit like, motherfucker, I did you a favor by taking you. You know, I can like you. Kept fucking calling me, stalking me. And I said, fuck it, it came in. But, like, really, I don't even fucking like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if that thought ain't getting communicated, yeah, a fucking air time will go cheat on you. You know what I'm saying? And, like, the fuck is no. They're over there, like, you called this motherfucker 15 times, 20 times, they ain't called you back once. You know this motherfucker don't like you, know it's just a booty call, you know what I'm saying? But like, what do people do? Like, they push, they want to get a relationship. And the whole time it's like, motherfucker, like, I didn't even like you like that. We was just fucking, and you fell in love, and I was just tolerating your ass. I don't love you as much as you love me. That don't mean I'm fucked up. Like, you know, this is clearly how airside people teach you. And the concept too, like, I was just talking about this with a friend of mine, you know what I'm saying? Lilith, the concept of Lilith. And then, like, if you don't know Lilith, you know what I'm saying? Before the Bible, there was another woman before Eve, her name was Lilith. And Lilith came out the dirt just like Adam. And, like, she believed that she didn't have to put on her back and fuck missionary. Like, she wanted to ride Lilith. Like, so, I mean, she wanted to ride Adam. She thought they was evil. She was more masculine than Eve, so they got rid of her ass and got Eve. They took Eve out of Adam's ribs, whereas Lilith came out the ground just like Adam. So Lilith felt like, no, fuck, I'm just as equal as you. Why the fuck I gotta bow down to you, brother? You mother bow down to me. I got life coming out of me. I can give birth. You know what I'm saying? Be equal, but you can't do that shit. So like, what the fuck are you talking about? So like, Lilith basically left. This is the age of Pisces shit. So, I mean, it's kind of like age of Pisces shit. And like, you know what I'm saying? During this age, Lilith is in jail, per se. Like, Lilith got sent off into the wilderness. Lilith ain't around. You know what I'm saying? Adam really got two women. A lot of people don't think of it like this. So, like, every time people is like Lilith, and they're like, we rebel against the standards of relationships, like, you know what I'm saying, like, air sign men, like, they got Lilith in them, like, they don't want to be with Eve, they want Lilith, like, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of hard to understand when you know what I'm saying, all this shit's a constant, there's no real Lilith out here walking around the world, there's no real Eve walking around the world, but, like, when you deal with a guy such an air sign, like, you compare Eve to Lilith, and just know that Eve on Lilith more so than Eve. And then, like, you go back to XXX, whatever, like, in his mind, you know what I'm saying, he's going to justify whooping that chick ass. You know what I'm saying? In his mind, it's justified. And then, like, just like Lilith is justified in leaving Adam, she's like, motherfucker, like, we equal, right? Okay, then, so if you hit me, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And mind you, like, you know, people say you should never put your hands on a woman. You should never put your hands on a woman. Like, an air sign gonna find some reason to justify. Like, mind you, like, shit literally happened to me. Like, yes, but believe it or not, yeah, I had to fucking kill a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because a bitch fucking stabbed me. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking stabbed by a fucking. Now you tell me a bitch stabbed you, you don't deserve this to be going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You know, like, I'll put that shit in the video. Yes, a bitch stabbed me, and I had to fucking steal on her ass. You know what I'm saying? Now, am I proud of this shit? Of course not. You know what I'm saying? But on some little, like I was saying about little, like, there's gonna be certain situations where a man gotta put his fucking hands on a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, like, XXX, y'all used to be telling his mama told him growing up, she's like, man, if a woman keep hitting you, then you gotta put your hands on her, fucking put your hands on her. He was taught this shit growing up, Korean sword shit. So, like, you know, under the Little Act, like, every time motherfuckers don't pull it. Like, you okay, we equal, right? We, like, we gonna see the contradiction in that, like, in the woman being Lilith, like, okay, yes, we equal. Yes, I don't have to sleep with you like that. How a woman can respect that in Lilith terms, like, a man gonna make you see that it's hypocrisy and a man form, and they're like, the bullshit that come along with relationships, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, if you're doing unattractive shit, you're doing shit that's not sexy, you might be, so you're doing goofy shit that's pissing off an air sign motherfucker, like, they gonna get your ass back, like, they gonna fuck around, and they gonna be like, okay, well, I can't completely pay off this motherfucker, this person is not, you know what I'm saying, the right person, so they will date other people, and not hurt your feelings. Now, you gonna look at this as lying, cheating, you know what I'm saying, they'll tell you, like, man, fuck, it's only cheating if it's a game, like, that's what somebody told me this once. I mean, if it's only cheating if you admit it's a game, you know what I'm saying, what are you cheating? Cheating games, you know what I'm saying, so if you start treating the relationship like it's a game, then yes, Airstyle will start cheating, and they're like, doing shit thinking that she can get away with it, and like, motherfucker, if you already, you know what I'm saying, if you a air sign, I mean, if you a guy and you dating an air sign female, you know what I'm saying, and you texting a bitch all night, you know what I'm saying, she might not even trip on your ass, you know what I'm saying, but don't be surprised when you look up and see her texting another guy some shit like that, like, and you fuck around and get man, who the fuck is that you texting on this fucking guy, what the fuck you mean? Like, what the fuck, what about me? Like, motherfucker, you was texting a girl, like, and mind you, like, they gonna be more pissed off about the fact that you brought that shit to them, you know what I'm saying, because, like, every time we'll have a whole relationship with us, and then, like, they want to give for it, they're like, okay, bro, especially, like, in the beginning, when you first start dating, and then they find out you talking to somebody else, you might be, like, when people are dating, you might be dating one or two, like, most people, a lot of times, don't come into relationships already prepared off for dating other people, you know what I'm saying, so, like, you might not notice, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, you might be talking to a parent, you might be talking, like, 2 or 3 other females, like, so we're just dating, but you thinking that y'all exclusive, like, I never told you we was fucking exclusive, like, you see what I'm saying, but, like, to an air sign, they don't see the hypocrisy in that, like, and a lot of females have guys, you know, 2, 3 guys, they may be dating, fucking, whatever, like, you see what I'm saying, but, they will, you know what I'm saying, a female be fucking 2, 3 different dudes, and then you call it just dating, but, like, a guy's, you know, fucking 2 females, like, fucking cheating. So the air sign gonna see the bullshit, man. They're like, they gonna see the game. So, okay, this is a game. Cheating, so air sign is like the shit that leads up to cheating. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's kind of hard to understand. It's like, they gonna have a whole valid shit that led them to the action of why they cheat. And it may not even be your fault. They're like, they just may not even be into you. Like, you may not be attracted to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could be a lot of shit, but like, trust me, like, an air sign, if they cheat on you, they just didn't want to fucking tell you. And at the same time, they are like fucking horns. And they're like, there's a trick in our brain. They're like, you know, say concept of Lilith. It's like, I use the concept of Lilith from Mystique. There's a character in X-Men called Mystique, and it's like a female who can switch bodies. So she gets like a shapeshifter. You know what I'm saying? So an air sign is kind of how, like, an air sign male, you know what I'm saying, when they're untrained, when they don't have a trained eye, that's kind of how they see females. And they're like they feel like they go out and, you know, it's a whole bunch of people walking around. Like, they're looking at this woman, they're looking at that woman, they're looking at that woman, they're looking at her tits, looking. And they don't know, in their mind's eye, it's really all just one chick. It's fucking little. It's a lust. It's lust. It's just one chick, but it's like, it's really jumping from person to person. I use concept of Agent Smith to describe this in male forms and how, like, energy jumps from person to person. Where, like, lust situations, it's kind of the same shit, and they're like, it's one archetype sitting up inside you with the lust and glitter, but, like, the female is changing. So it's like, man, I want to fuck her, 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 I want to fuck her. Damn, I would love to fuck her, I would love to fuck her. It's really all the same chick. You know what I'm saying? It's really, it's like Mystique. It's like, but bitch just keep chick. It's like, over air signs don't notice what's going on in their head. Like, they don't know this trick. So they literally gonna try to fuck all these women. Like, you see what I'm saying? Especially like a Libra's addicted to porn. It's about porn is the way it is. The motherfuckers sit up all night watching like fucking porn. They watch like fucking 9, 10, fucking 20 different scenes. Like, you're not gonna run to a guy who watches the same porn over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Because they like to see the change, like the woman has to change. Matter of fact, the Native Americans had a concept called the changing woman, which is based on the weather. I ain't get too deep into that, but it's kind of like based on the same concept of like weather, the changing woman. But like what the Brills did, the motherfucking like the Zionists and the Jews and the Jew symbols and shit, they took a concept of mystique, and they really made a changing woman type shit, but it's really giving you that symbol of like misplaced lust inside of your subconscious, which you really live. So like, you wanna fuck all of these women. Like, you watching music videos all day, you watching pornos all day. They literally flipping from girl to girl to girl to girl. Like, they try to create this effect of this Lilith that they got inside of it. That's what you gotta understand. Like, air signs are like Lilith, and they're not like Eve or Adam per se, and they're like a male that have Lilith in them too. And they're like trying to romance this motherfucker, trying to treat him like Eve. It's like, no, these motherfuckers are Lilith. They want to fuck. Like, they just want to go to a hotel room, get some weed, get some liquor, turn on some music, and fuck. So it's saying, and like you gotta say too, like, air signs, especially in France, you know what I'm saying, we rule the music realm, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, we think in musical patterns, per se. It's kind of hard to explain. So, like, if it ain't music playing a lot of times, you gonna get, like, that ungrounded, weird energy. A lot of times, like, the song is playing kind of dictates the mood with air signs. Like, you know, if there's no expression of song, a lot of times it's more like it's some weirder shit. It's gonna have to be like, we are the song. Like, we are the patterns of change in the music. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of times, man, you take an air sign to a hotel room, you cut on some fucking, some booty shaking music, get some liquor, some fucking weed or some shit gonna change their motherfucking altar state. Like, that's what the fuck they really wanna do. They don't really wanna be out fucking like long romantic evening and shit like this. Motherfucker is Lilith. It's not Eve. It's not Adam. It's fucking Lilith. What do you do with Lilith? You gonna fuck. Like, they wanna fuck multiple people. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the name? Kanye West got a video out of it. They wanna fuck gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Keep this in his brain. He wanna have a, like, that's the Lilith in all of us. Like, as we get closer to the age of Aquarius, moving to an air sign age, you see, like, pornos are becoming more fucking intense. Videos become more intense in your face. This is working. It's like ass right in my fucking face. It's Lilith. In jail, but she's kicking at the motherfucking lock. Which says she want to get out. And it's like, in the back of everybody's mind, it's like a big ass orgy. Everybody want to fuck everybody. This is air sign shit. You see what I'm saying? So, if you don't know how to, like, you know, control that, if you don't know that this is in your air sign's mouth, you gonna get the motherfucking cheat on you. They gonna do this shit in the third dimension. And this is a fifth dimensional object. I mean, it's a fifth dimensional thought, but they trying to get this shit to play out in third dimension. So they gonna physically go get 2 or 3 females, try to fuck 2 or 3 females at the same time. Or like a female gonna be fucking like 2 or 3 dudes at the same time when they don't have this thought balance. So they don't know that they're fucking up. It's like, we live in a water world. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we don't know that we're trying to be like water signs like Eve, but it's like, motherfucker, you're not Eve, you good. You know what I'm saying? So, if you want to be a better Eve, understand that you're living. You know what I'm saying? And then you can basically jump, you can time travel, you can literally jump out of one body into another, like, but it's really all in one body. I don't want to sound too weird, but like, my channel is about time travel. You know, jumping out of your body into another body inside your body. If you follow my channel wrong, you know exactly what I'm saying. You've probably done this multiple times, you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It's the same concept like mystique. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, this my little air sign ran for today. I didn't even think I was going to make this super long. You know what I'm saying? Air signs are war. You know what I'm saying? Don't be ashamed of this. You know what I'm saying? Just know that you're saying you act correctly. So that you become a better in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully don't smash like the same as about you too. But I also told him to the answer what I'm saying, man. I guess it's a character who blood named Pam. And she had told us story once to her. She said she used to be a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? She was like, man, I used to be a prostitute. I met all type of prostitutes from all over the world. I met this one prostitute, but she had, I forget her name, but she was called her Amber, whatever the fuck the story said. Amber was a fucking, she was a high class hoe. And then she was a hoe that, swear to God, she wasn't a hoe. You know what I'm saying? But she was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, she would, and it's basically like what air sign shit is. It's like, fucking high class whores. Like, you see what I'm saying? And they're like, it's a hoe that don't want to admit that it's a hoe. You see what I'm saying? But motherfucker, you a hoe. So like, it's like some Pluto energy type shit. It's like the last shit that you want to admit about yourself that's true. You know what I'm saying? When you let it out of your spouse, you don't understand, like, motherfuckers like you, motherfuckers already see this shit. And you like your spouse, you know what I'm saying, probably lusts after you already. So, but when you act like a dork, and you don't know how to exercise your lust, and you know what I'm saying, know that this shit is in you, it come off retarded, it come off fucking stupid. So what I'm saying? So like, you can spark lust in your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Don't be ashamed of it. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you balance this out between you and your partner, you know what I'm saying? That fifth dimensional orgy you got on your hand, it will need to play out in the third dimension. So then you'll have a better control of it. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be honest about it and know that this shit, you're controlled by this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all of that shit. It's taking like living this thing a lot. So you need context to surround these thoughts. That's what I'm trying to get. You know what I'm saying? So be honest with yourself. Be honest about, you know what I'm saying, the fact that you got this energy pulling on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first step towards practice. Because everything that play out in the fifth dimension don't need to play out in the third dimension. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to give you straight fifth dimensional thoughts to block you from having to go through it in the third dimension. Same reason why motherfuckers watch tons and tons of porn. You know what I'm saying? But you can get past that as well once you realize that you can distract. You spot that fifth dimensional thought. You see what I'm saying? And you're trying to play it out in the third dimension. You know what I'm saying? The third dimension is tricky, man. You know what I'm saying? But you can flip it. So that's why you got Kanye running around talking about slavery is a choice. Right? He's trying to literally like flip the fucking third dimension. You see what I'm saying? So be intelligent, be wise, and be aware of, you know what I'm saying, of just how much, you know, potential and power is behind your thoughts. Alright? Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hey.
What up? It's your boy K-Blao, HOODX, back with another video for y'all. All of my siblings are water signs. You know what I'm saying? I put out a lot of content on this video shitting on water signs. You know what I'm saying? And if you ever want to know a big part of that, you look no further than my fucking siblings. You know what I'm saying? I love my siblings, obviously all brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to think that I'm out here like ranting like about how much I hate my brothers. I thought it's fucking sibling shit. It's like if you got a brother or sister, you know exactly, you know, the feeling I'm trying to describe. But I do want to say that me as an air sign, like I'm an Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? I got a brother that's a Scorpio, I got a brother that's a Pisces, and I got a sister that's a Cancer. You know what I'm saying? And I also have a stepbrother who's Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? Which was fucking perfect for exactly what I needed to see as far as like lower Aquarius traits. You know what I'm saying? Now, imagine me having, you know what I'm saying, 3 water sign siblings and then a lower evolved Aquarius brother. And then none of them not even studying astrology at all. These motherfuckers don't, they think I'm crazy for studying astrology. You see what I'm saying? This is like, I just give you a snapshot, or it's like literally my life. You see what I'm saying? The thing that's important to my brothers and sisters is not important to me at all. And like everything that's important to me is not important to the motherfuckers at all. It's insane. And then like me knowing that I have the exact dialogue and that like I know, like if you follow my channel, you know that I have the dialogue, the communication available. You know what I'm saying? There, and they're like, okay, if I truly was to approach one of my siblings, the level of understanding is gonna be there on my part. You follow what I'm saying? When I approach my younger brother, my older brother, when I approach my sister, me as an Aquarius walking this planet for as long as I've been walking it, I've learned, especially looking at my stepbrother who's Aquarius, I've learned that like, okay, wait, something is not right here. There's some type of failure of communication here. And then like I'm gonna actually try to figure out what it is and approach it from that standpoint instead of just guessing, you know, what the problem is, especially on the intrinsic basis. Like something's bigger happening, you know what I'm saying? It's something in the stars, something, just people is not the same. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to pay attention to detail and try to figure out, okay, like Why are we failing to have a communication? Why is there a failed communication? Me as Aquarius, unemotionally, emotionally unattached, emotionally detached. Knowing that I'm emotionally detached, realizing that I have to be more sensitive to my siblings' emotions. You're going to get that dialogue. Because they're water signs and they don't understand it. They don't even follow astrology. Like, they don't even, it's like a foreign fucking language to them. It's like somebody who watched Star Trek trying to talk to people who watch Star Trek. Like, somebody who's a fucking banker trying to explain to somebody why they can't get their house approved. You know what I'm saying? They have literally no idea the keywords that's associated with Aquarius. Like, I know, knowing that, like, we're about thoughts, we're less emotional. Like, they don't have this dialogue. They missing that whole fucking vocabulary that come along with studying astrology and the signs, and they're not approaching me like this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this is why, I was gonna put out a video, believe it or not, called "Astrology is Bullshit," because it was like, here's a fucking air sign who has 3 fucking water sign siblings who knows all this shit about astrology, and it don't mean shit to them. This is why I talk about the Cassandra complex a lot on my page, and like Cassandra, who was a psychic who knew the future, but nobody would listen to her. This is literally what it's like being an Aquarius and having water siblings, because I can't, like, my siblings don't even come on this page, you know what I'm saying, and follow the videos to try to even understand, like, why I think the way I think, why I do the things I do. It's like to them, I'm just fucking yelling shit on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, the things that's important to me, they don't even care. It's like strictly fucking emotion. And as time continues to play out, you know what I'm saying, we're becoming more set in our ways, and I'm putting out content like you know what I'm saying, like this is like a journal to me. You follow what I'm saying? So, and like I said, a lot of times in my life, I know I feel like I'm talking to you. I'm talking to a fucking computer. There's nobody in this room. It's like a journal. So it says we're becoming more set in our ways, and I'm putting out, content. I look at myself. I look at it. I'll be like, okay, well, am I tweaking? If I didn't have this journal, what would I really, if I didn't study astrology and I didn't have this journal, what type of person would I be? And studying astrology, studying spirituality, metaphysics, comedics, the Kabbalah, studying, even things in the Bible, Christianity, Old Testament, New Testament. The lessons that I learned in these, guides provide me so much clarity that I know for a fact if I didn't have them, I would be dead or in jail. Because I don't think how water signs think at all. But I understand. And the fact that I understand and I'm still not even getting the benefit of the doubt, you know what I'm saying? When situations play out, it's like, man, I've stepped into your world. I've stepped into the emotional world. I've calmed myself down. I'm not hitting you with hard-edged facts that you can go find on my page. Just why they don't watch my page. Hard-edged facts, hard-edged truth. I've toned it down. I'm not hollering. I'm not screaming. I'm speaking to you, you know what I'm saying, how you want to be spoken to. And then you still don't get to the logic. You still don't get to the point. You still don't get to, like, the forward move. This, like I said a lot of times, like, this is not a court of law. This is a court of emotions. This is not a fact-based conversation. This is an emotional-based conversation. I find myself saying this a lot with, you know what I'm saying, water signs. And I know that, I get my justice on this channel. I get the truth on this channel. And they're like, it's kind of like being Batman or like a superhero. And they're like, okay, we live in a fucking bullshit world where I got to kind of put this disguise on and walk through life, But just know that like on here, you get the real fucking K-Blao HOODX. You get the truth. So like I said, if I didn't have this, I don't know how I would be able to fucking move through life. Like I don't, this channel is really giving me a theory in life, and like I don't really have much to prove, in day-to-day interactions with people, because like I know the truth. So as far as in the third dimension, walking around talking to people, interacting with people, the third dimensional victories don't hold as much weight in my heart as they used to, and they're like in the way that people who subscribe to my channel and the comments that they leave and the confirmations that I receive in this channel, like that gives me way more fulfillment than the third dimensional day-to-day shit, sitting down eating, talking about mundane regular things. Like I'm not from that world, you know what I'm saying? So like I approach it kind of like playing fucking PlayStation 4, and then like it's a game, and then like okay, I'm literally had to create a whole other avatar for myself that I had to go into this avatar and interact with, like the fucking Matrix, for real. You know what I'm saying? And I just, the more I get more embedded in that thought, I see water sign people more and more, like I say, like cartoons, or more like a fucking program that's like controlled by forces that's like literally from another planet. And I'm just like literally playing a video game that's based on emotions. And then like the points in this video game are based on emotions, not logic. It took me fucking years before I realized this, and just watching the day-to-day actions of my fucking siblings. And they're like, man, stop and think. And they're like, you got an Aquarius child with 3 waters, every spectrum of water sign siblings. And ask yourself why you think the content on my page sound the way it sounds. And that like I'm got files after file after file after file after file after file, and people come and confirm the shit, So my perspective on this page is not just me ranting, talking shit. You know what I'm saying? It comes from real life instances. This is very difficult for people to see, and they're like, you're on that side of the screen, you're holding your phone looking at me, but I'm fucking physically sitting here. You know what I'm saying? As myself. And they're like the things that propel me to come sit down in this chair and start talking into this fucking camera. You didn't experience them things. You know what I'm saying? But if you was an Aquarius and you had fucking 3 water sign siblings, you know what I'm saying? You had a water sign spouse, you had a water sign, kids, you got most of the people that's coming to you telling you about their problems, your quote unquote friends, are water signs. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you're gonna start to pick up on a very keen, you're gonna have a very keen perspective. And you're gonna be able to put out content like this, but I'm not. This is just a thought on the internet, me sitting there talking, but in real life, it's not like I can literally, once this video go off, my life end. I'm like, no, I keep going. Once this video stops, my life keeps going. So like, I'm in here, I'm in the Matrix, I'm in here playing the game, I'm down here on the planet playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Going through the day-to-day actions. I asked to be here. So I came here to learn this lesson. I'm learning this lesson. It's clear. You know what I'm saying? That I'm learning these lessons. I'm giving my report. You know what I'm saying? I'm approaching it with a level of understanding. But, this avatar, this material, this page, the logic that you can find, the jewels that you find on this page, it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, I'm gonna die. My body gonna break down. I'm gonna get old, crippled. I might go blind, go deaf. You know what I'm saying? Bones start breaking and cracking. I already know this shit is coming. But in the meanwhile, while I got this brain, you know what I'm saying? This is my chamber. And then like, I know that this lives forever. This is what, Comedians call it is, the was, and always will be. Even when I'm dead, people will be on the internet frantically searching for, the things I said and research, because they still here. These are the things that's important to me, and the passion I used to share about these type of things with my siblings, it was never met at that, at that same level. It was always done just on an emotional experience. That's what I learned. And then like I've seen things from a long timeline where they kind of see experiences just, from moment to moment. So, in the long timeline of things, you know, the content you find on this channel was my true passages, like my journal, and it was you know, the feelings that I never got to really you know, got to manifest in this third dimension. You know, it's a trick. The third dimension is tricky, man. The third dimension is very tricky. You know, so that's why I decided to master the fifth and sixth dimensions concept you see on this channel. You see what I'm saying? So I appreciate everybody who do subscribe to this channel. If you are a water sign, you know what I'm saying, or if you you know what I'm saying, you wonder why I'm putting all this content on water sign. A lot of times, you know, it'd be just situations dealing with my, you know, my siblings, and you know what I'm saying. A lot of times I don't have no way to express it, you know what I'm saying. And one thing that I do want to say very clear in here, you know what I'm saying, is that, like, yeah, my spouse is a water sign, you know, and I avoid putting content out. You know, believe it or not, like, very, very rarely do I put out content surrounding, you know, situations I get into with my wife, you know what I'm saying, my spouse. I very rare. Like, even if you go back through the cancer videos, you go back through, you know, all of my videos. I'm not that type of person to jump on the internet and, you know what I'm saying, talk about, you know what I'm saying, negative shit that go on in my life with my spouse. You know what I'm saying? And even though a lot of the shit subconsciously do line up, like, I don't vent. You know what I'm saying? The shit I go through with my spouse, I don't vent that shit. You know what I'm saying? On this channel. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's cool at all. At all. You know what I'm saying? So, and also too, you want to know is that, like, a lot of the content on this page, it do come from requests as well. And that, like, the things that I've seen, and I'm only able to put it out if it's confirmed. Like, I don't put out shit that I read, you know what I'm saying, that I just read in another book and I take it and put it out. It's like, no, if I haven't experienced that shit, I'm not gonna put it in the video. It has to be confirmed. You know, so yeah, that's just a little insight, like I said, on this channel. And if one of my brothers and sisters do come across this video, you so say, I would let y'all know that, what the fuck is you even doing on this channel anyway, motherfucker? Peace. What up? It's your boy K-Blao, HOODX. Chilling, about to turn it in, man, but I just want to do this little blog real quick. Talk about, you know, a couple of concepts I've been coming across dealing with feminism. And I have this theory that I just came up with today. And it's basically saying all women are feminists. In a certain regard, in that they can't even help this shit. And like, when you really think about what women are up against, it's like they kind of have to be feminists. But then at the same time, when you really, really think about it, like, liberal feminism is deeper than radical feminism. Like, liberal feminism is like trying to prove that women can do just as much as men, and that they equal. Like, anything you can do, I can do better. Like, radical feminism is like trying to prove that men are trying to keep women down. It's a different type of feminism. Then they got this other shit called intersectionality or some shit like that, which is basically like you have to approach it from multiple angles at the same time. Like, you can't look at it as either or. Situations like black women, for example. Like, black women, you know, they don't like, there's certain black women that don't like, you know, affiliating themselves with white feminists because they believe that white feminists have a different agenda than black, quote unquote, feminists, because white women can't relate to being a woman and racism. You know what I'm saying? And you're experiencing two different types of oppression. Like, whereas like a white woman ain't gonna understand that. So you have a concept called intersectionality, which teaches people to approach it with both standpoints at the same time. So I'm really summarizing this whole shit. So it's different types of feminism out here. Me, I have a personal opinion, and I say, like, okay, well, you know, if I don't know, man, I kind of look at it like a different way, in that, like, If I was a woman, and I have a son, which I do, you know, you watch my channel, you kind of see my approaches to like take an approach with caution, and then like I'm gonna warn you of some bad shit, you know. And if I was a woman, I would be more weary of warning my son not to run into the wrong woman, based on facts, not just first opinion, but based on the divorce rate. You know what I'm saying? I think the divorce rate is like 60%, some shit like that. Maybe even higher than maybe like 70%. No, I was in the military. The divorce rate was like 80% in the military. You know, it's like a fucking 80% chance you're gonna get a divorce if you're in the military. So looking at that statistic, you know, I would try to, I wouldn't be like, man, be nice to your wife and make sure you cherish her. You know, like saying shit, I don't tell this shit to my son. I'd be like, man, make sure you pick the right woman. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you are aware that it's women out here that look at you like a come up. Be aware that, you know, people don't see shit how you see shit. So make sure that, you know, that this woman fits into the long term picture. You know, you don't really hear women saying this shit to boys the way that you hear them protecting the girls. And they're like, you know, like they'll tell a girl, quick as hell, hey, don't bring the wrong dude home. But you don't never hear them really saying this shit to a boy. And like when a boy be like a girl, like they like, okay, well, like fucking bitch be a stripper, bitch be a straight thought. Be totally taking advantage of him, totally playing him like he'd be a sucker. His dude whole personality be gone. She didn't literally like absorb his whole personality. And the mother be right there like, oh, she okay, yeah, okay, well, this is not even your kid. She just trying to get a grandkid. Like the mother don't be putting the sons on the game. That's why you look at the divorce rate. That's the way it is. It's like okay, like, and if you really think of the divorce rate, it's like you know, women kind of claim it's like okay, well, women are true pioneers. You know what I'm saying? Why are we not really blaming the mothers for the divorce rate? You know what I'm saying? In that you know, these are adults, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You have adult problems, but you know, this has to do with you was raised, and that like, you know, boys are nurtured by their mothers, so they whole point of view on how they come up and how their perspective of women is based on how the mothers is teaching them. So we have like a fucking 60-70% divorce rate. You know, that is a reflection on you know how we raise as a whole. And, you know, I mean, I'm speaking in very general terms, obviously, you know what I'm saying, for the sake of the channel, just to get your mind working, you know, obviously. Men, you know, fathers, stuff like that, is traditionally, you know, from a feminist standpoint, okay, when you remove the man out of the picture, you know, and you um the female matriarch is literally, you know, inserted themselves into the child, you know, even though it shouldn't be this way. You know, so we're talking about feminism here. So like in feminist perspective, so okay, remove the man. You don't need a man. The woman can, you know, can do this on her own. Not necessarily want to, but feminists argue is, you know, liberal feminists argue, you know, a woman can do it just as equal as a man can with the kids. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man pay child support. This traditional shit. You know, we just generalizing here. You know, guys pay child support. Um, females, you know, take care of the kids. So, you know, when this plays out later on, you know, traditionally, you don't really, the female ain't really thinking like, okay, like my son might go through the same shit. So like, I'm gonna like, you know, what am I gonna teach them? Like, you don't see women doing this like how they do with their daughters. Like, they put their daughters on the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? With their sons, it's like, you got to fend for your own. Like, you can bring whoever the fuck you want to bring home. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, they're not going to
teach you, like, okay, like this is the difference between a good woman, this is the difference between a bad one. This is how women manipulate. You know what I'm saying? It's so many ways, so many hidden, unseen, unspoken ways that women manipulate. That, like, you know what I'm saying? You would think they would put their son onto this shit. Like, hey man, like this woman is totally fucking manipulating you. You know what I'm saying? Before it gets to that divorce process. If you're a man, you going through a divorce, I mean, like, who should you really be able to go to get an understanding? You should be able to really go to your mom. And your mom should be able to really tell you, like, okay, like, you know, you know, your mom, you would think that your mom will take your stand. This is where you see this a lot in with men, and like there's a disconnect there, and like there's the feminist thought there, and then like you go to your mom, and your mom takes the woman's side. So she'd be like, well, what the fuck, like, you know, and this doesn't play out in every situation, but you to kind of see this, sort of like every woman is a feminist, and that they kind of like you see women, not necessarily turn on their sons, but like they're not protecting their son from manipulative women. Like they're more prone to send them off. You know what I'm saying? They're more like you really don't see like moms checking their daughter-in-law. Like you're not necessarily checking it, but like, you know, putting their son on game. Like, hey, you know, a lot of these females think they're cute. You know what I'm saying? And it take a wiser woman to put them in a place and like give their son a value. A lot of times you see the women, you know what I'm saying, taking their value from their son. You know what I'm saying? They don't really, you know, a lot of women just totally don't get this shit. They totally do not get this shit. It's like here's an opportunity to give your son some value with this woman. You know what I'm saying? And like 9 times out of 10, the women be more, you know what I'm saying, the mother be more focused on impressing their damn daughter. I mean, impressing the girlfriend. You see what I'm saying? You be like, man, you like, Mom, why is you trying to impress her? You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be building my value. You would think this. You see what I'm saying? This shit never play out. Like, yeah, it's just crazy like that, you know. So, you know, I see believe every woman is a feminist. You know, every woman is a feminist because like a lot of guys are approaching, um, you know, relationships, you know, with their value constantly just being taken from them, constantly getting your value taken from you. You know what I'm saying? And this all plays out like I said, subconscious. It's not like, you know, love hate situation. It plays out subconsciously. These social dynamics with people around talking, socializing, and stuff like that, and you know, the traditional values come up in the way that you think about women and stuff like that. But then you really stop and think. It's like I posted this question in a lot of blogs. I was like, man, do women even put their sons on game and teach their sons how these women manipulate them? You know what I'm saying, for their money, for their, you know, to try to have kids, you know, try to get them for kids, try to get them for their money, try to, you know, get them for their, you know, child support and fucking, um, what's the, you know, alimony and shit. Like you would think, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess when you've been on alimony, when you on child support and shit like that, and like you're looking at the son, you're not really going to explain to him like, hey, you know, this money that we getting every month. You know, like if you're getting child support and you got 2, 3 sons, like you're not gonna really look at your sons and tell them like, hey, you know, make sure you pay child support. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck you gonna tell them? Like, I couldn't, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just putting myself in a situation. If I was a mother getting child support payments, you know what I'm saying? What advice am I going to give to my son, like growing up, you know, in marriage situations? Like, you know what I'm saying? You would think that, like, the mother would be a little more protective of making sure that her son is never gonna fall into a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? But like they not even looking at it like this. Like that's what you really, they a lot of times females just do not look at it from the male perspective at all. Like they just fail to see it without it even turning to. A lot of times they say you don't even have to turn into an argument. But like you know what I'm saying, like even me, you get me explaining this shit. I'm admitting that I'm generalizing. I'm admitting that like this is I'm just stirring the pot here. But like what do people do? People fucking fly off the handle. People get fucking irritated. People get PTSD surrounding these type of issues because like people just do not want to look at it from no other way. Like a lot of times females they just refuse to fucking look at it from the guy's perspective. Even when it comes to their son, when you be like, okay, like think of all the shit you posting on your Facebook page, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you if you're in a situation with your baby daddy, you know what I'm saying, y'all broke up or some shit like that, or like even beforehand, like you know what I'm saying, the shit that you post on your page, you know what I'm saying, and you was like, okay, if you your son, you know what I'm saying, and you went on his girlfriend's page, she had the same shit posted up there talking shit about men, and you know what I'm saying, the shit fucking females be posting online, fucking the tits and ass out and shit, motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, uh, talking shit, you know what I'm saying? I'll be in astrology groups and shit too, and like people be talking shit and how they fucking manipulate men and shit like that. I join a lot of, believe it or not, I'm in fucking feminist groups to see what the fuck them motherfuckers be talking about. I be spying on them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? I'm in all type of fucking wild ass groups and I ain't got no business in there just studying motherfuckers and shit. They think I'm in Pisces groups, Cancer groups. I ain't got no business being in them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? I'm in motherfucking Scorpio groups, Sagittarius groups, you know what I'm saying? Every fucking group that you think in the whole zodiac, I'm in there. I mean, like I said, MGTOW groups and feminist groups, you know what I'm saying? Racist groups. I'm in fucking Nazi groups, motherfuckers talking about Nazis and shit, white supremacy, skinhead groups and shit. I'm in all type of groups. You know what I'm saying? Nation of Islam. Total opposite groups. I mean, I got to see everything fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? I need clear subconscious thoughts. And a lot of times, when people get in these groups, they say wild ass shit that they think ain't nobody watching. You know, because they think everybody's on the same frequency and shit. They don't know that it's okay. It's an outside motherfucker looking at this shit. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times you stop and think, okay, like when you be in these groups and you be talking and shit like that, you stop and think, okay, like if your son's girlfriend was posting this same exact shit, like what would you think? You know what I'm saying? And then like, I don't think necessarily women be out to get, so I'm not trying to paint women in a bad light. I don't think necessarily out to get men or use men for, pay, alimony and child support and shit like that. I don't necessarily think this is the case. I just think there's a severe lack of communication there with the mothers and the sons communicating, you know, and knowing his value in the relationship and really, getting him to understand his value in his relationship and be congruent, with it. Because like a lot of times women be totally stripping the power from the husband. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the son come up the same fucking way and they literally had the same problems, you know what I'm saying? That's why the divorce rate just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? Just to say, all fucking women are feminist. All like my nigga posted. I mean, not post. This actually a Sagittarius friend of mine. So he was Skull. He said, man, I think. He said, I think all the women be having this secret meeting somewhere. He said they get up, or they must be on Facebook. He said all the women got some type of like huddle up where they huddle up and run all of the plays on how to trick men and shit. And they say break. He was like, because like he was like, no matter how bogus the bitch could be, the bitch could be a stripper, the bitch could be then fucking, you know what I'm saying, fucked another nigga best friend type shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no matter how fucked up the female is, like when you telling the story, he's like, the female will always take the female side, no matter how. He said the bitch could be straight, blatantly bogus. And I didn't really notice this until later on, and I started looking. I was like, damn, it's true. I was like, wait a minute, how the hell is you taking her side? I've seen this shit play out so many times. I'll be like, wait a minute, like I've seen a situation where like this female had came over, this dude, like I helped this dude make an altar for his father. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really an altar per se. It was like it was just like a it was on his mantelpiece. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a you know, pictures of his father and candles and things that his father had. Like it was like just a little memento for his father. You ever walk in like a Chinese restaurant? You walk in like some people's house and they like you walk up to the side, they got a little picture with incense burning and you know what I'm saying? You know, me and this guy, he really made it. I just kind of you know gave him the advice on how to do it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? This girl came over. It was actually his wife's sister. She came over. You know what I'm saying? And she had kids running all around through the living room and shit, and he didn't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? He kept trying to get them to sit down, but like there's a lot of estrogen in the air, so he looked out of place trying to check these fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? And then like she didn't really have no control over her kids. Like she let her kids run around, run wild and shit. I think he said she was like a cancer, the sister's wife. You know what I'm saying? I think she was cancer. She had a lot of kids. She had like 3 different baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? So she's fucking running all over the place. One of the kids knocked over. You already know what I'm about to say. One of the kids knocked over the damn altar. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, this shit had ashes in it too. Like they had his urn there too. Like his urn, they knocked the whole shit over. The fucking ashes fell out all over the motherfucking floor. You know what I'm saying? And he had been telling them all day, stop letting the kids run around the living room. Stop letting the kids run around the living room. Stop running. And then my fucking kids knocked over the goddamn fathers. All this shit knocked over, they knocked over that shit. This nigga, you would think he was fast. You see what I'm saying? But like this is a nigga who followed my channel. He didn't practice. He be practicing time travel. He actually time traveled. You know what I'm saying? He told me, he's like, Blau, he said, it took me everything in my power not to snap off. He said, but I remember that shit you was talking about time traveling and then like how the Shadow Walkers was trying to draw him into a dark world and he seen that and he literally time traveled. He said he didn't respond at all. It was some Taurus verse shit. He totally didn't even respond. He went in the room and lit up a blunt, smoked the blunt. You see what I'm saying? Well, he said his wife, you know what I'm saying, came in like they cleaned it up. You know what I'm saying? She look, the wife, you know what I'm saying, they was scattering whatever. They was obviously embarrassed. They was obviously saying shocked that they had the kids that did this and they cleaned it up. You know what I'm saying? Dude left. Dude had left. He went out and got in his car. Some shit, started blasting music, some shit. And by the time it was over, you know what I'm saying, bitch just got up like the sister left. Didn't say shit. Didn't say I'm sorry to the father. Didn't say shit. They didn't even like. It was like the shit didn't even happen. My dude didn't say a fucking word. Dude walked right out the room. You know what I'm saying? And the sister got up and like they. I think the wife cleaned the shit up and the sister got all the kids together and fucking left. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking wife go in the room and he said the wife started giving him attitude. You know what I'm saying? Because the sister left. You know what I'm saying? She was mad at him because her sister left. And he literally could not wrap his mind around why he found himself justifying himself to his wife about the fact that he stormed out of the room. That's what they said. He stormed out of the room and banged the door and slammed the door. Basically, they say he stormed out of the room and slammed the door. You know what I'm saying? At no point did his wife go, you know what I'm saying, to her sister and be like, man, you need to go in there and apologize. And like that shit wasn't even discussed. Like the fucking sister just left. And they fucking, and you know what I'm saying, he said his wife gave him an attitude all night because her sister left. And he slammed the door. This is what the shit Skull was talking about. He was like, man, it's like no matter how bogus the female is, man, like, you know what I'm saying, they gonna take the female side. So you see this shit, like, you know what I'm saying, you see, and this shit plays out with the motherfucking son. Cause like I've seen a lot of times when like you see women treating men unfair. A lot of times I learn to ask her. I'll be like, man, like if I was like, you got a son, like if a lot of times like, no, you know, if you got a brother, like you know what I'm saying, so, you know, like or your father. I'm saying, if your father or your son was like literally going through this exact same shit, what advice would you give your son? If you found the same shit, what advice would you give, you know what I'm saying, your father if he was in the exact same situation? You know what I'm saying? Because like females have a very difficult time a lot of times. That's why I'll be like, females just do not understand men at all. It's like an entitlement there that like they just do not understand, and then like a lot of shit men want to do for women, but the entitlement make a motherfucker not even want to do the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you fucking with somebody who already like you. It's like motherfucker already like you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you ain't gotta like, God damn, it's so simple. Like, you know, but you get the like, you know, Poe call this shit Orion. You know what I'm saying? And like the concept of Orion is like Loki, basically, like saying shit like Thor and Loki. Like Orion is like the little brother who be following around the big brother, trying to like be a god. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's already a god per se, but like you say, he really wants to rule. He wants that power. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of females is like Orion in that regard, and this is what we call Loki. You know what I'm saying? A lot of females is like that, and then like, you know what I'm saying, like with Thor is like kind of like, even though they brothers, you know what I'm saying, but like where it's like Thor is like the husband and like Loki is like the wife, and that like, you know what I'm saying, Thor kind of wants to be ignorant to this power dynamic, and then like he's like Thor is constantly approaching like, man, it's my little brother. Like he is literally like, he doesn't even want to be aware that there's a power dynamic here, but like Loki is like, you know, he's just mischievous and it's like this underhanded shit subconscious. You can't even help yourself. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, that mentality is what like literally spreads through generations and generations, generations and generations and generations and generations of people. And it's like, you know, the thing with feminism is like you can get the same point across if you just approach it with a little bit more of a simple understanding. In that, like, from a, you know, radical feminist standpoint, like men do not want to um, dominate and typically, you know what I'm saying, men do not want to dominate and control, you know what I'm saying, women. A lot of this shit is like, you know, this failure in communication. You say as far as third dimensional shit, like third dimensional, like you say, is tricky. So like shit play out a certain way, and then like even me and my voice, you know what I'm saying, I'm tall as fuck, man, I'm tall as fuck, even my voice, like a lot of the shit that a female can say, you know what I'm saying, if I say the same shit, it's just gonna be received wrong. You know what I'm saying? Chris Rock said this shit in the skit when he said it brilliant. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you know, skinny people, it's like fat people make fun of skinny people all the time, but skinny people can't make fun of fat people. You know what I'm saying? Short people make fun of tall people all the time, but like tall people can't make fun of short people. You know what I'm saying? It's like women can poke fun at men type shit, but like men ain't really supposed to poke fun at women type shit. And they're like, it's just not received right. But like that thought leads to biasness in action. Like, you know what I'm saying? The thought leads out fucked up in action. And then like there's a trick there. It's a trick. You know, it's the same shit when attraction starts turning into comfort, which turns into seduction. It's different stages. Like when you don't understand how this shit can blend together, then you'll be tricked. You know what I'm saying? So like when you separate attraction from comfort to seduction, when you separate them, then you can see the trick a lot better. You know what I'm saying? So like me as the type of person I am, looking at females, you know what I'm saying, when especially when you unevolved, when you don't know astrology, when you don't know the symbols, when you're young and you know what I'm saying, just full of lust, and you know what I'm saying, like say young, dumb, and full of cum, and like women don't know, they don't even know that they're manipulating, they don't even know that they're doing lower self shit. You know what I'm saying? When you keep going higher and up, higher up and higher up in consciousness, you really have to start looking at, you know, so there's equality issues there, but then there's entitlement issues. So it's like you can't, you know, say you can't have your cake and eat it too, in regards to, you know, saying like liberal feminism, saying that, you know, women are just as equal as men. You know what I'm saying? But then there's, you know, entitlement issues, like, you know, in regards to, you know, uh, what's expected from, you know what I'm saying, from a man in traditional relationships. So it's tricky, and then like you have to have clear levels of communication there, because if you don't, you know, that that subconscious feminine shit is going to play out. You know what I'm saying? And like um the divorce rate is high, you know what I'm saying, because it plays toward the feminist principle. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to be clear when you really step all the way back and look at it, like, you know, subconsciously all women are feminists. And like even men subconsciously are all feminists, per se, and that, like, you know, we hold, you know what I'm saying, women traditionally, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to hold women in more regard than we hold ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was a war or some motherfuckers getting killed or shit, man, women and kids go first. You know what I'm saying? Which is traditionally understood. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, this is life or death situation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you see petty shit play out. You know what I'm saying? People still have that same regard in petty shit, manipulative shit. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm specifically speaking about, petty and manipulative shit. That like a lot of times the mothers don't teach this shit, teach men how to deal with this shit. You be on your own. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be all the way clear in what I'm saying. So you know, if you got any comments on this, you know what I'm saying, what do you think on this? You think that or if you're a female, you know, what type of advice do you give your son in dealing with manipulative women? Specifically in this saying, you know, a lot of, you know, kids, boys growing up really don't understand what manipulation is. So they don't really understand it when they see it, you know, so they're going off into high school and they starting to get older and, you know, and they young, dumb, and full of cum, you know what I'm saying? What are you telling them? You know, so when they out going out late and you know that they hanging out with their friends and they dealing with girls and shit like that, and you know, girls are flicking their hair and putting their ass in their face and you know, poking their ass out and shit like that. Like, do the mothers even, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, obviously, I guess a lot of times, you know, boys don't want to hear this shit either. I can say that too, but like, what advice do you give your son? Do you even do anything? You know what I'm saying? I try to create content that's rare just to spark these type of conversations. So I hope that y'all leave some good comments, man. You know, appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel and like this video and share it if you want to get extra credit. All right, you did.
Okay, Paso, I'm back. This video is called Black Men Will Always Be Boys. Very ruthless shit to say, but it's 100% true. And we're talking about really American black boys, black men, you know what I'm saying? Only because of just the culture. Where the fuck would this concept come from? Well, it comes from a lot of resources. In that, like, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. Get to the chat. Wait, hold on. Let people get into the chat real quick. Okay, so black men will always be boys. I have a personal belief that, you know what I'm saying, average black man, no matter how old he is, really subconsciously is about 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're talking about America, you know what I'm saying? You look at the hat, you look at the fashion, you look at the clothes, you look at, you know what I'm saying, typically like the music we listen to is useful shit like hip hop, it's R&B. This music really for like younger motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So in our heart, we don't want to grow. It's like Toys R Us. Like, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. You gotta understand, we're living in the age of Pisces. Pisces is kind of like a child, not like an Aries child, but like, you know what I'm saying, more like a child of the mind. You know what I'm saying? So childlike in your belief system. They're called blindless faith. So this is what you get a lot of times with black men. Obviously, I'm a black man, so I can speak on this. You know, so I grew up in the church under my mom. My mom used to give us a lot of dialogue. You know, said the Roman Catholic Church. Same people that say sold us into slavery. You know, saying that shit ended up, you know, saying me questioning a lot of shit that I used to see. So, and what led me down the road, I used to believe that I used to see that, like, man, my mom never really kind of, you know, not just me, but like a lot of the moms in the community never really seen their men as men. Now, when I went to go see Black Panther, me and Poe really opened my eyes to this shit. You know what I'm saying? I went to go see Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? They had to see with Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett is T'Challa's mom. You know what I'm saying? Then I had a scene where like anybody in the whole city could come out and challenge him to a fight. They could kill it. Like if they were to kill her, they could kill you like, right for your mom. Your mom couldn't do shit about it. You know what I'm saying? And this was a shit that was going. It was like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck would they let him get his ass whooped and almost killed in front of his mom? Because this is a right. It was called a rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? Now, black men don't have a rites of passage. Like, you know, you think of America. In America, there's no ceremony per se. That's like, okay, you're a man now. You know what I'm saying? You look at Jews. Jews have some shit called like what the fuck is that shit called? Oh man. They have a ceremony, you know what I'm saying, where they invite the whole family out, people give money and shit. What is that shit called, man? Somebody will know, they'll leave it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Jews have this ceremony where it's like you're a man now. They put you on a chair and they lift you up in the air and shit, you know what I'm saying? Even females, you know what I'm saying, you speak Spanish culture, you know what I'm saying? They have something called a cotillion. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like when you turn 15, you know what I'm saying? They had this big celebration. So okay, you're a woman now. You know what I'm saying? It's like a rites of passage. It's called a bar mitzvah, I think it's called a bar mitzvah for Jewish. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like, okay, you're a man now. There's an indoctrination there that says, okay, you're no longer a boy, you're a man now. Now, they also used to have some shit. Like, you know, in Africa, certain places, they circumcise you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they bring you out in front of your family or, you know what I'm saying, certain community, and they cut the skin off, you know, the foreskin off your dick. And say, okay, you're a man now. So there's a rites of passage there. So America don't have no rites of passage like that for men. Typically, other than that, it's like a wedding. You know what I'm saying? But, like, that's not for you, you know what I'm saying? That's inclusive of a female, you know what I'm saying, your wife, your counterpart. So you really start to ask her, like, well, damn, like, if you're a black man growing up in America, like, how the fuck do you really know when you're a man? It's like, your mom don't have no ceremony there, you know what I'm saying, to let her know that you're a man, you know what I'm saying? So, like, she always gonna kind of see you as a boy. So that's why you kind of see, like, black men constantly being shunned by their mom, like, son, like, you know what I'm saying, just kind of talk down to. It's like, motherfucker, you're not a man. Like, they don't never see you as a man, you know what I'm saying? So, like, this, I made another video talking about all women are feminists. It's kind of what led to, you know, these type of conversations I was having with Paul. We were really exploring this, and Charlie was like, damn, like, if you a black man, you only a black man, like, when you needed, you know what I'm saying, for something else, okay, now you're a man, but other than that, motherfucker, like, you a boy. You know what I'm saying? There was never no rites of passage. You know, now, you got to understand, like, I grew up in Chicago. I grew up on the south side and the west side. It's a lot of gang activity out here, you know what I'm saying? Now, these motherfuckers got a rites of passage. It's like, okay, you go join the motherfucking gang, the first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna beat the shit out of you. Just the same shit you seen in Black Panther. Like, they're gonna stomp your ass in the motherfucking corner and say, okay, you've been jumped in to the gang. So I'm saying, no, this is a rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? Then they put your ass on the corner, sell some dope, you know what I'm saying? Like, give you a motherfucking gun and say, okay, you a man now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the gang culture kind of understand that, like, somewhere in the back of every black man's mind, it's like, we supposed to go through some type of rites of passage, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, because we don't have that, a lot of us motherfuckers go to the gang culture and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you see a spiral that like is a black boy looking for, you know, clout to prove himself he a man, but there ain't no system, there ain't no rites of passage. So, like, he want to prove himself to himself that he a man. So you get this shit. You know, so he don't want to be a boy, you know what I'm saying? Even if you think of the title of this video, it's like, oh shit, like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no boy, you know what I'm saying? But then you stop and think, well, when the fuck did they tell you, when the fuck did they give you a fucking indoctrination of when you're a man? You don't really have one. You know what I'm saying? That's other than really graduate, like, let me say you graduate high school, you know what I'm saying?
that's kind of like, okay, well, you're a man. And when you really compare the concept of graduating high school to like the images you've seen in Black Panther, or like the concept of getting jumped into a gang and shit like that, like it's not a real rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you graduated from high school, but like they're not really telling you you're a man. Or like you thinking, like I say, in Africa, they circumcise you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is not graduating from high school. It's not the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and another thing too, like something to look at, you might want to look at over in India, they got this shit called the Indian mother-in-law syndrome. Look, this is crazy shit. Indian mother-in-law. Like over in India, you know what I'm saying? The mothers over there are ruthless as fuck. Like they hate their daughter-in-law. It's like part of the culture that hates your daughter-in-law and like fucking shit on them, because like they kind of respect the man as quote unquote the king. Like when you see in Black Panther, like even his mom, T'Challa's mom, she bowed down to the king. You know what I'm saying? He was his mom. She was like, my king. She's like, you the king. So like your mom in America, you ain't gonna never see like, you know what I'm saying, Black man mom bow down to him as the motherfucking king. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, she had to be a part of this rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? Like she knew her place. Even though she was the mom, she still had to bow down to the king. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't give us no rights pass like that. You know what I'm saying? So you see the nigga walking down the street with his hat cocked to the right with a pistol in his motherfucking hip. So why the fuck is he acting like because he ain't had no rights of passage to prove he a man. So what you gonna get is a boy man. You gonna get what the fuck you looking at? Go lay down. Dog's acting retarded. You know what I'm saying? So so you get Black men forever trying to look young. You get us trying to like, you know what I'm saying? The culture is always, it's right there next to adolescence. You know what I'm saying? It's right there next to like 17, 18, you know what I'm saying, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z got a song called Forever Young, you know what I'm saying, where he kind of was talking about the same type of shit. And then like, you got to think like Jay-Z's music, he's Sagittarius, he captures a lot of the child boyhood, like, you know what I'm saying, energy that us Black men we have. You see what I'm saying? So like, we study Rockefeller, we study like the music labels, like a lot of stuff that happened in the music labels become a sort of rites of passage for us in order to express ourselves as men, because like there's really not a lot of avenues out here that's gonna come out and tell you, okay, you're a man now. You see what I'm saying? So like we do music, we do all type of, you see Black men act the way they act. A lot of that shit looked the way it looked because there was never no rights of passage there. You see what I'm saying? So we be trying to explore different avenues to try to find our manhood. You see what I'm saying? Created a lot of, like, for me, believe it or not, like, you know what I'm saying, I would, well, I don't know, man. Like back in the day, man, I was fucking around with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? It was called the Four Corner Hustlers. You know what I'm saying? And I had joined these motherfuckers and shit. And they, to me at the time, I felt it was stupid. It was like some shit I felt I had to do at the time. You know what I'm saying? But like at the same time, I never really banged. It was like, okay, I ran into some motherfuckers and I ran into their goddamn indoctrination, and we kind of banged for a week, and then I left that. I was like, man, this shit's stupid. I was fucking left alone. You know what I'm saying? But like, other than that, like I never, you know what I'm saying, I never had no fucking rights of passage. Like when I heard myself coming through the fucking speaker for the first time on a song, I was like that was a fucking real eye-opening experience for myself. And it was almost like a rites of passage, you know what I'm saying, for myself. Also too, like when I went into the military, you know what I'm saying, I completed boot camp. You know what I'm saying? That was like a rites of passage for me too. And I literally came out feeling like a man. You know what I'm saying? But like other than that, like a lot of Black men are lost. They don't have, you know what I'm saying, we be looking for our manhood and it come out a lot of times fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So like you see, institutionalized, living motherfuckers going to jail, police, turning it up. You see shit like this because like we was never given that rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? So like if you are a Black man and you've experienced it and you feel that way, I just, you know what I'm saying, and with all due respect to Poe, you know what I'm saying, Poe was really a motherfucker who really put me onto this concept. You know what I'm saying? So I want to mention that in this video, but so hopefully this video will give you some type of clarity on that, and you can find your own rites of passage, you know what I'm saying, to claim your manhood, you know what I'm saying, with your family. And that's a lot of what I try to do with this page, is put out content. A lot of times people don't have the answers for, you know what I'm saying, just get the wheels turning. So leave some comments in the below, man. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I said something to, give you some clarity with that, man. All right, subscribe to my channel, click like and share. You D. Yo. No bullshit. When I tell you, I just seen one of the most fucked up things I ever seen in my motherfucking life. And like, kind of don't even want to put this fucking video out. I kind of don't even want to put this shit out, but it's like, I'd rather put this shit out. Man, Joe, I just seen some totally fucked up shit. Like, I still don't fully understand what the fuck I saw. And it's only so much I could tell you because I promised the guy that showed me this shit that I wouldn't say shit. I promised the motherfucker, but he didn't know either. He had no fucking idea. Neither one of us had any fucking idea what the fuck we just saw. I just saw So a friend of mine, I ain't gonna say how I know this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He buy bootleg movies. He used to buy bootleg movies. He don't do this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? But like me and him used to talk a lot about movies and shit and like how to find movies online. You know, I was fucking huge on this shit back in the day, and like you know, me and him used to talk about torrents, and then this led to computer programs. Like we started downloading and basically cracking computer programs. Man, hold on, I ain't smoking blood. Think about this shit, yo. This shit fucking my head. We used to start cracking computer programs and shit. You know what I'm saying? And selling them online and shit. And then this led to, you know what I'm saying, us cracking. Like I went through this other phase, you know what I'm saying, that I started getting video games and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit! Oh, good catch. My bad, I'm sorry, I'm totally fucking this video. I'm sorry. But I'm just kind of fucking up right now, man. Like, what the fuck I just saw. So, like, you know what I'm saying? We started doing video games, you know, like, we started doing Xbox games and PlayStation games and shit, you know what I'm saying? So we started, you know, cracking this shit. Like, I don't know if you know what torrents, if I had to download a torrent and crack a torrent and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But, like, me and him used to kind of trade recipes on how to do this shit. And, recently, he was telling me about this shit called the dark web, you know what I'm saying? And like he had sent me this shit with fucking Daylight was talking about the dark web and shit, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, you ever heard of this shit? And like I kind of heard this, but I really wasn't familiar with the shit, you know what I'm saying? But like I don't know, like, you know, me and him just share a lot of shit back and forth online. You know how people doing shit. And like he, you know, he was sending me this video and I really didn't think twice about it, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, I kind of heard, you know, and he was like, man, you know, you should come through one time. I could show you, you know, what I know about this shit. And I was like, okay, cool. Sounds some cool shit doing. Like, mind you, we used to meet up. You know, we go to these meetings together. You know what I'm saying? We see each other all the time. We kind of said the shit passively, but like, nothing ever had came out of it. And like, you know, just recently we was at one of the meetings and we was talking about it again. I was like, man, fuck it. You know, because we really talk about the video games more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, the video games kind of led to me. He was like, man, you need to come through because shit about a light gun. Like, I don't know if you know about light guns. Light guns are games you shoot at the screen. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a round back TV. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a flat screen TV to do light guns and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, me and him was talking about this shit, and you know, it's different TVs that go with different systems that work. So basically, long story short, he needed me to test out different TVs with him, you know, to try to make sure this shit worked. While we was over there, we was doing this shit. And then one thing led to another, and he started talking about that dark web shit again. And he was like, man, he was like, let me show you, you know, what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And like, it was crazy. And then like, he sat down in front of this old ass computer. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even think the computer, it was like an old ass computer. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and when he cut that shit on, it was like, I guess that was like the only shit he even used that computer for. You know what I'm saying? And like, when he cut the shit on, I remember thinking like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I guess probably I was like, man, this shit look fake. I don't know. I just never seen an interface like that on a motherfucking, on the screen like that. You know what I'm saying? And but sure enough, man, he sat me down. We started going through this site. It was like eBay. You know what I'm saying? And it was like it had all type of just crazy shit. It was like drugs, pills. It had like fucking all type of shit like guns. You know what I'm saying? It was like bitches. It had links to like sites that for prostitution. It was like eBay. You know what I'm saying? He was just showing me like all the type of crazy shit that was on. It was all type of like I'm trying to think of the shit. It was like there's a lot of bootleg shit on there too, like knockoff shit. You know what I'm saying? He was looking at uh, uh, like pistols and shit. You know what I'm saying? But he was just gotta just show me like he wasn't necessarily looking for it. He was just showing me like this site that just had all type of crazy shit. It was fucking nuts. So like, and by you, like even as I was looking at it, I was like, this shit, it looked fake. Like the whole shit looked like fake. It looked like some shit he had cut off of me. But it was real. Like the shit was like you could tell it was real. It just looked fake as fuck. Like the interface, everything. I was like, Joe, what the fuck are you showing me, right? So then like we got to start clicking on these other websites and shit where it was like I don't know if you remember a website called rotten.com. Like we was on this other website where they were just showing like all type of just crazy shit. Like motherfuckers getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Like we spent like an hour or two on that shit. You know what I'm saying? But then like the shit about you know what I'm saying, what he was doing, and like he had a lot of shit going on. Like I didn't understand I just didn't understand what the fuck was going on. And then like he had to reset. I remember he had to reset this shit like 3-4 times, and then like he was like something about the IP, whatever the fuck. Like he had to keep shutting the shit off and cutting it back on. You know what I'm saying? And like in this, like while he was shut, like he would cut it back on, and then like I don't know if you ever seen like it's kind of like when you on like on the internet, you know what I'm saying, like pop-ups come up, you know what I'm saying, like some shit pop up, like it look like somebody talking to you, you know what I'm saying, and it ain't nobody really there. Like I don't even know what the fuck the word for this shit is. It's like hi, how can I help you? This type of shit like pop up on the screen, you know what I'm saying, and like a lot of the shit it looked fake, you know what I'm saying. It was just like shit popping up like, hey, we can get you this, hey, holler at me, I can get you this, like type shit like this is constantly popping on the screen. He was just closing the window, you know what I'm saying. But then like we started getting like shit that was popping up that was saying like motherfuckers was live, like right then and there live. You know what I'm saying? It was like females, like sex offering like, cam girls and shit like that. But then like it wasn't cam shit, it was like crazy shit. It was like man, like I can't even, it was like motherfuckers just dressed up in crazy ass shit. Like motherfuckers dressed up in animal clothes and shit, and like with all type of toys and shit. It was just like very kinky, crazy shit that was popping up that was saying that they was live. Now whether or not they was live, I don't fucking know, but it was popping up saying it was live, and he kept closing the shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, all of a sudden, we was actually looking at some shit that was like over in fucking like Vietnam or China somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to basically hack live television, you know what I'm saying, over in Vietnam. And like all of a sudden, like we ended up like on this fucking, I don't understand, I still don't understand what the fuck it was, but it was like some type of feed. It was a live feed of like these Asian motherfuckers, but they was black. It was like Cambodian looking Asian motherfucker. Like I can't even explain it. Like these motherfuckers was black, but it looked like they was in Asia somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And it said it was live. I don't know if it was live or not, but like they took us into like this fucking like it looked like they was in Asia. Like they took us into like this fucking like I don't know if it was like the meat factory or like it was like a what's they call that shit, a butcher house, like a slaughterhouse. That's where, like a slaughterhouse, because it was like meat, like dead cows, and you know what I'm saying, like not actually dead cows, but like, you know, when you skin the whole fucking meat, like the shit in Rocky, like they had this shit like all in the fucking background, like it was fucking just like cows and shit, you know what I'm saying, like meat, just it was like meat hooks fucking everywhere with meat on it, you know what I'm saying, and like, you know, they didn't, it wasn't no cows actually walking around, but you could tell like they was in like some type of fucking like freezer, not a freezer, but like, you know, like a meat warehouse. Man, this shit was so fucked up. But like it was, they had a whole, man, hold on, before that shit even happened, you know what I'm saying? Like it was these fucking like these Chinese black dudes walking around with fucking masks on, you know what I'm saying? And they would like they was covered like they was about to do like an operation, you know what I'm saying? Like doctors and shit, you know what I'm saying? And like they was talking for like, you know what I'm saying, for about a good 45 seconds, you know what I'm saying? And then like the camera moved over and it was like maybe 15, 30, like maybe like, it was like 20, it was like 20, 25 niggas. It was like 20, they was niggas, like these was Africans. Like, I don't know where the fuck these motherfuckers was from. They was from Africa somewhere. Like you could tell they was straight from Africa. And like, it was so crazy that like these Asian motherfuckers look black, you know what I'm saying? But then like you could tell that like these African motherfuckers was not from the same place that they was from. Like they was from Africa somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And they was in a room with all this meat and shit, you know what I'm saying? And like, man, they was talking in this other language, like, you know what I'm saying? And like, all the black people was like looking down, like they was just looking down like this, like they was just terrified, you know what I'm saying? And it was like these military motherfuckers was, they, in my day, like they all had numbers in their ear. Like each one of them had some shit that was in their ear and they had a number right here on each one of their ear. Like it was, I remember specifically one of them numbers 45. You know what I'm saying? And they was all older. I remember that too. It was like all older and it was all men. You know what I'm saying? It was all older men. You know what I'm saying? Like in their 50s and shit. You know what I'm saying? They was all, it was like maybe 20, 25 of these motherfuckers. And they was black African motherfuckers. And they was all hunched over looking down on the floor like this. You know what I'm saying? And this dude was like talking about, like they was just talking and reading hella fucking paperwork. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, and I remember thinking like, Joe, they about to slaughter these motherfuckers. And I was like, nah, like, I don't know, man. It was like some shit that was like, it would look fake. It would look like it just looked fake. But like, I knew that it was real, but it was fake. And I was like, Joe, they about to slaughter these motherfuckers. I was like, I know they ain't about to slaughter these motherfuckers, but they slaughter these motherfuckers. And like, mind you, like they must have sat there for about talking, like in a whole other language. They was just talking. And like, I had no idea what the fuck they were saying. He had no idea what the fuck they were saying. And this shit went on for maybe about a good 4 or 5 minutes. And like these motherfuckers were signing hella paperwork. And next thing you know, man, like they led all these motherfuckers up like this ramp. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing, like I'm not telling you, is that like the angles kept switching. And they're like, oh man, like how do I even explain this? Like the shit was captured like on some closed circuit TV type shit, but it was kind of like mixed in with their cell phones. Like I can't explain this shit. Like I don't fucking understand what the fuck I was looking at, man. But like it was like these dudes in there was like somehow the angle kept switching, and I like that's how I knew that like. But it was coming from cell phones, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was some type of live feed going on that was collected into some type of closed circuit television shit that was like flipping from cameras, like maybe 3 or 4 different camera angles. You know what I'm saying? And like, it was like, it looked like it was coming from cell phones. You know what I'm saying? But every angle was a fucked up angle, except for like one shot. It was like from a close, like from a wide angle like that. One shot, like everything that was going on. You know what I'm saying? But all the other shots was like coming from cell phones, like, and mind you, was, I don't know, it was kind of like Facebook Live type shit, where it was like, and it was multiple angles, which I did not fucking understand. But all of a sudden, like they walked these motherfuckers up this hill. You know, like on the hill was like this, it's kind of like in the movie Saw. It was like a ramp. It was like a curved ramp. They walked these motherfuckers up this ramp, and there was this big ass fucking blade, Joe, and it was moving like. That's all you heard. And that motherfucker was moving about like 700 miles an hour, Joe. And all of a sudden, man, You know what I'm saying? The niggas, man, I was just tweaking off the fact that like none of them niggas did nothing, man. Them niggas was just standing there like this, just hunched over, looking down. And like I was like, Joe, they not about to do. Before I can even finish that thought, man, they pushed one nigga off, and then she said, Zoom, just like that. That was the only, and like you seen a streak of blood go right up the side. It was like some shit off Saw, man. Like you just saw the streak of blood go right up the motherfucking side of the wall. It was like zoom, gone. Like that nigga was gone. Like it was like a fucking, I don't even know how to explain this shit, Joe. It was like a straight, like the angle that they had it at, man. Like you just seen the nigga, like you didn't actually see him hit the blade, like, but you seen that nigga just fall down. Ah, man, it was like a downward angle. You know what I'm saying? It was like you only seen half the blade. Like you gonna, like the angle was like you see the flow, like you see the flow where their feet was at right there, and then like you just see the nigga fall, like you see him kind of get pushed, and then he fall off, and that the way that the camera is, the angle, like you just see the top of the blade right here, and you just, like you don't actually see him hit the blade, but you just see blood fly up on the phone like shh. Just the first shit, the first nigga win. I was like, Joe, what the fuck? Like, and mind you, like, dude looked at me, I looked at him, and we was like, what the fuck do we find? And you know, saying shit like, you know, people, it was a live feed and that people was leaving comments, you know what I'm saying? But all of the comments was in like Chinese or like some type of fucking like crazy ass like Arabic. I don't even know what the fuck type of language it was. It looked like some type of fucking Chinese, Cambodian, you know, some type of shit. Like I don't know what the fuck. All of the comments was in that shit. So I didn't know what, we didn't understand none of what the fuck the word. It was like some foreign, it was like YouTube, it was like watching YouTube in Chinese. Like we didn't understand none of the words on the screen. We didn't understand none of what the fuck we're saying. But we just know that these black ass motherfuckers was dropping niggas into like this fucking blender. Like one after another. It was like 25 of these niggas. And they was just, it was so crazy that like none of these niggas fucking fought this shit or nothing. They was just willingly just dropped right the fuck in. And I was like, I asked that nigga, I was like, Joe, how long have you been on this dark web shit like this? You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I've been fucking with this shit for maybe about 4-5 years. And I was like, what the fuck is we watching? He was like, I don't. He was like, you gotta understand, man. He was like, sometimes the way that this shit work, you just be clicking on shit and come across shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I know this dude, like I know he wasn't fuck with me. Like I know he wasn't cut on some shit to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And I know that what I was looking like, I know that like, Joe, that shit. If it's one thing, I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy shit on the internet, man. Like I say, it was a website back in there. It was called Rotten.com. They used to show a lot of crazy shit, but like, mind you, like that's all we saw was like them. They was dropping them niggas in that motherfucking. But I just know, like, somewhere in the back of my mind, like they was butchering these motherfuckers and selling these motherfuckers off like meat. I don't know if this, like I said, I don't know if this exactly what the fuck that was, but I know for a fact that these motherfuckers were standing in a fucking slaughterhouse meat market somewhere, and it was like niggas, and they was dropping these niggas into this fucking blender, Joe. And we saw this shit, and like we didn't understand a word on the goddamn screen. We still don't understand none of what the fuck we was looking at, but somewhere out there, overseas, somewhere, it's like a room full of niggas being dropped into a fucking blender somewhere on this fucking planet. And I saw this shit on the dark web. And I don't know, man. Like if you, if you know anything about this shit, man, you know what I'm saying, leave something in the comments, because like I don't know what the fuck was going on, and mind you, like I'm just making this shit really just to like see if it's anybody who know anything about what the fuck I saw, man, because like I saw some fucked up shit, and if it's anybody out there who know anything or have any type of understanding, or if you know where the fuck that video is, or like if you know what I'm saying, like please just let me know what the fuck that was. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you. Que paso? It's your boy K-Blao, HOODX. Make sure you sign up for HOODX.com, my friend. This video is called Earth Signs Are Obsolete. Now y'all know I've been shitting on the signs. I mean, well, not the signs, but the oh wow, look at that. Oh yeah, pretty cool. Y'all know I've been shitting on the elements these past couple weekends. You know, I couldn't even finish before somebody's already asking me about the earth signs, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all getting shitted on too. You got motherfuckers obsolete. What is obsolete? Obsolete is that old ass computer that you got sitting around, or that old ass phone that you got sitting around that you don't want to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? This is what's like being an earth sign. Or like that old ass dog that's just old as hell, or that old ass car that's just beat the fuck up that you love so much that you don't ever want to get rid of. It's like an earth sign. Like Old Yeller. Like you ever seen the movie Old Yeller? Like Old Yeller was an earth sign. It's like that old ass dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like the old faithful dog. You know what I'm saying? Or that old ass car that still run, that you probably really need to get rid of, but you love it so much and it's been holding you down that you can't get rid of it type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is earth sign shit. You know, old Betsy. You know what I'm saying? Old Betsy, my old car. She's been in the family for 20, 30 years. Like that's an earth sign. You know, it's like, man, yo, get rid of this motherfucking 1980 motherfucking Cadillac. They go get you a motherfucking 2017, 2018 fucking vehicle. You know what I'm saying? This car don't even have power fucking windows. Old Betsy, you know what I'm saying? Earth sign shit, like, you ever see an old motherfucker like just hunched over, like old as hell, just walking around with a cane and shit? You know what I'm saying? You just drive right past them and shit, like they obsolete. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's motherfuckers be mad at me for making this video, but then it's like you stop and think. I mean, how many times you see an old ass person in a grocery store, like an old ass person walking down the street, and it's not like you gonna stop and get out the car and help this motherfucker cross the street. Like, people don't help old ladies cross the street no more. People don't give a fuck about them. People be like, man, this old bitch need to get the fuck out of the way and hurry up and fucking die. This is the world we living in now. So like, before you criticize me, just make sure you understand that, like, you know, this shit happens every day. You know what I'm saying? Unless you out here on a day-to-day basis, you know what I'm saying, visiting the sick, you know what I'm saying, in the hospitals, you know what I'm saying, then you ain't got no right to say shit, because it is. It's like, a lot of these motherfuckers is in the way. A lot of these motherfuckers is in the way, man. Like, you ever take advice from an old an old earth sign motherfucker? Listen to the advice that they give you. You'll be like, what the fuck? Like, I got an earth sign dude, he live right here. You see, your earth sign. I think his birthday May the 15th or some shit like that. This motherfucker brought me some food one time that was still in a Tupperware shot. It was like these motherfuckers look like, I don't know where the fuck he was at, but like he was literally like ate half the food. Like, this motherfucker brought me like his fucking leftovers type shit, thinking that it was like a gift. Like, he was like, oh look, you know, we went to a restaurant, we had all this food, and I just wanted to give it to. I'm like, motherfucker, do I look broke? Do I look like I need your fucking leftovers, motherfucker? Like, I was like, Joe, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, in his mind, he was doing us a favor type shit. Like, he didn't even understand how I was looking at him shot. Like, motherfucker, did you just bring me your leftovers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is a dude that's been trying to be my financial planner for a while. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Joe, like, this motherfucker is like 100 years old, like, literally type shit, you know what I'm saying? And like, I sat down and listened to this motherfucker one time, give me some advice on getting life insurance or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Or like, how to set up a, you know, like a retirement account or some shit. He was trying to explain it. I was like, bro, this information is from like 1985. Like, he had these old ass Trapper Keeper books and shit with like all these old papers in and shit. I was like, bro, do you even have a fucking Facebook, Twitter account? Do you even have a website? Like, he didn't have none of this shit. Like, all of this shit was like straight from the 80s. Even his car, like, you look at his car, it's like a 1985 fucking Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking rusted out. It's like all type of shit in. I'm like, bro, like, how the fuck is you giving people financial advice? It's like his whole house looks like a fucking house from a Dr. Seuss book. It's like all fucking old. The windows are old as fuck. Like, everything in that whole house needs to just be bulldozed and like start over again. It's like, what was that movie? Up. So you ever see a movie Up? Like how that house look? Like that's literally how dude's house look. And he out here trying to give fucking financial advice and life insurance. Like, bro, ain't nobody listening to you, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Earthside motherfuckers like Scrooge. You know what I'm saying? I got a video called Ebenezer Scrooge, the Ebenezer Scrooge Avatar. The motherfucker bah humbug, motherfucker. Just old as hell and in a fucking old ass drafty house. You know what I'm saying? Firing people on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Frugal as hell. Pinching every fucking penny. Like Scrooge. You imagine living or working with Scrooge. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, I wish this motherfucker heard and died. Get the fuck out of the way. Like, this nigga obsolete. It's like, what the fuck are you still doing here, motherfucker? Like, your whole avatar is from the fucking 20s. Like, the fucking 1800s type shit. You know what I'm saying? See, the thing about Earthside, you gotta understand, like, they are good workers. They make great work. They like mules. They like jackasses. Like donkeys. You know what I'm saying? So many times I try to sit down with an Earthside motherfucker and try to give them some air shit, some information, like this information. What do they do? Oh, well, you know, that ain't gonna help you in real life. You help you in real life, get a job, get some money, get a car. You know, it's like, Joe, I trade stocks. I make my money trading stocks. You know what I'm saying? Drop shipping shit online. You see what I'm saying? I do not have to get up every day and go do manual labor and go work for some fucking boss that I hate. You know what I'm saying? And collect money and try to save my money to try to get rich. Like, you gotta understand, like I said in another video, the way to get rich back in the day, the only way you could get rich back in the day was literally pitching pennies. It was like you had to have a whole stack of money, like a money bin, like Scrooge McDuck. Like, I don't know if you know watch DuckTales, but Scrooge McDuck got this big ass money bin full of coins. Now you have to imagine, like, this motherfucker literally had to save every one of these coins. So like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like you had a lot of ways to get rich. Like, you literally had to save. It wasn't like you could go to a bank account and get interest on your money. It wasn't like you could flip your money in the stock market. It wasn't like you could. It was very few amount of ways to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So like the Earthside motherfuckers who did have money, like, they were literally like fucking Scrooges, and they were literally pinch every fucking penny. And it was like somehow in the back of their mind they was like, okay, well, how the fuck am I gonna get rich if I'm spending all my money? So I gotta literally save all my money and not spend anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, this was way the fuck back then. This program is still running inside Earth people's head, and they're like, okay, well, I ain't gonna spend no money, so I'm gonna get rich. Like motherfucker, that is not how you get rich. You know what I'm saying? That is not how you get rich in the 21st century. Where you get rich is understanding and investing, understanding interest rates, understanding, you know what I'm saying, how to get interest on an investment, shit like that, Shark Tank type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not about saving literally getting a paycheck, like going to work every day, getting a paycheck and saving your paycheck, penny to penny. It's like, bro, the whole information is obsolete. Like, the whole way your approach toward getting rich and wealthy is a fucking blueprint from the fucking, like, the 17th century type shit. You know what I'm saying? That is not how you do not get rich going to work every day and trying to save your paycheck. You know what I'm saying? But this is the advice that a motherfucking Earthside motherfucker will give you. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you obsolete as fuck. You understand? Like, motherfuckers have so many ways of getting paid online now. Like, all you gotta do is find one product and get it online and have that product go viral, and you will fucking be rich. You know what I'm saying? You will have income coming in for an extended amount of time. Just, you know what I'm saying, throwing some shit online and selling it. You know what I'm saying? Just a matter of finding the right product. Earth signs don't think like this. They look at you like you crazy for not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. Like, you know, that's why they get ran the fuck over all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's why we talk about the Taurus verse. Taurus verse is what? Scrooge mentality. Like, they gonna get sacrificed. They gonna get killed. They gonna get ran. Look at Nicole Brown Simpson. You know what I'm saying? Nicole Brown Simpson, bitch, got killed. That's obsolete. Shit. Like, bitch, you gotta go. Like, you can't be walking around this motherfucker no more with doing the shit that you doing. You know what I'm saying? T'Chaka, like you ever see Black Panther? You know what I'm saying? It's two different Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? They had, it's really three if you watch the movie, but it's really two different Black Panthers. You had T'Chaka and then you had T'Challa. T'Challa was the son. You know what I'm saying? T'Chaka was the father. He was the first Black Panther. He was like the Earth Sign motherfucker. He was like, motherfucker, you obsolete. It was like, motherfucker, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, it's a whole new day. It's a whole new revolution coming. You know what I'm saying? That's what we in right now. You know what I'm saying? So many fucking Earths. You look at Craig Mack, obsolete when it comes to hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? The preacher that was even giving him the advice, like he left and joined what they call a cult. That dude was an air sign. I can't think of his name, his brother or something. He was an Earth sign. You know what I'm saying? He used to lust after women. He ended up getting a lawsuit, you know what I'm saying, getting sued or going to jail or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker got criminal charges for trying to have sex with minors type shit. You know what I'm saying? Same shit, all the information he was given, obsolete as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Obsolescence. Let me get this shit like this. You know what I'm saying? He was obsolete. Pharaoh, obsolete. You look in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Look at the story of the Bible. Look at the shit they did to Pharaoh. Pharaoh was obsolete. Got rid of his ass. Earth sign shit, you know what I'm saying? Tiger Woods, stupid shit he did, obsolete. Elvis Presley, Capricorn, obsolete. Tiger Woods, Capricorn, obsolete. LeBron James, so all that hype, all that shit they did, same shit, lost again in the finals, obsolete ass motherfucker. Need to just get the fuck out of here, nigga. Get the fuck out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Michelle Obama, first black president, first black one, you know, black first lady. Obsolete. You don't hear shit coming from her. You see what I'm saying? Obsolete. First black first lady. You know what I'm saying? Do you see her out here being relevant? Is Michelle Obama relevant? No, motherfucker, obsolete. Stephen Hawking, obsolete. The Rock, slowly becoming obsolete. It's a Taurus nigga, The Rock. You see what I'm saying? You see he's starting to get to that point where he's becoming obsolete. You see what I'm saying? He's starting to put out the same type of movies over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Also, Sylvester Stallone shit was a cancer. You know what I'm saying? But same shit. You know, John Cena, Taurus, obsolete ass nigga in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Elizabeth II. There's a perfect example. The whole wedding. I believe Elizabeth II was a motherfucking Taurus. You know what I'm saying? And you see what happened with the wedding. How all of the traditional values, like you say, how they got a mixed woman, like she's not a royalty, you know what I'm saying? Whole royal system of marriage, obsolete. You know, everything that Queen Elizabeth II represents as far as, you know what I'm saying, earth sign tradition, all that shit's fucking totally obsolete. Bitch, get the fuck out the way. All that shit you talking don't even fucking matter no more. This is literally the same shit that happened with Pharaoh, you know what I'm saying, with the Egyptians when the new age came in. Like, all of the earth sign motherfuckers become obsolete. And it take the motherfuckers years before they can catch on to what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Phil, obsolete. Paul Walker crashed his car, you know what I'm saying, in Fast and the Furious. Same shit. Now they trying to make this nigga obsolete in order to keep the series going. It's like, okay, like Paul Walker, like they got a whole, that's why what they do. They go get Jason Statham, they go get The Rock. It's like, okay, Paul Walker's obsolete now. And they're like, yeah, it's great. We had him, you know what I'm saying? We love everything he did, but let's bury this motherfucker, get his ass out the way so we can keep on with this series. Obsolete. Paul Walker, obsolete. Michael Jackson, obsolete. Greatest entertainer all time. Virgo. You see what I'm saying? Is he relevant in today's time? No, obsolete. Get the fuck out of here. Lil Yachty on his way quickly becoming obsolete. Quick as fuck. Eazy-E, Virgo, obsolete. You know what I'm saying? What do I mean when I'm saying obsolete? You're seeing like all of their whole perspective, their whole way of life, everything that they saying. You know what I'm saying? It be obsolete at the time when they give it to you. That be the whole shit, is that you just can't see it. You know, Jeff Bezos. What's his name? Bezos? The dude who started Amazon. I believe they say he's the richest man in the world. Believe it or not, that nigga's obsolete. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what the fuck he doing. If you go back and do the research at Amazon, you know that Amazon went bankrupt back in 2003. Matter of fact, when he first started Amazon, he told all the investors up front, hey man, you probably it's a 70% chance you're gonna lose your money. You know what I'm saying? He tell you then he didn't know what the fuck. Jeff Bezos did not know what the fuck he was doing when he started Amazon. He started a store. You know what I'm saying? Shit crashed. Now, this is a motherfucking Capricorn. Same shit what I said at the beginning of this video. And they're like, yeah, you can start a store online, sell shit, selling other people's shit, and get rich. This is a Capricorn to realize that shit and still fucked it up. Still went bankrupt trying to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Back in 2003. He had to take out several loans. Like billions of dollars of loans in order to get this shit. It's like, motherfucker, he's the business is rich. His business blueprint is, you know, yes, he's rich. But at the same time, like, he himself is fucking obsolete, and they're like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to like it's kind of hard concept to explain, and they're like, you know, he came up with an idea for a store, you know what I'm saying, and other people came in like Jeff Bezos does not list and sell things on Amazon. You see what I'm saying? It's the other people that come on there and do that shit. You see what I'm saying? That did it. So he even came up with the idea. All these people came in and do it, but like he himself is abso-fucking-lete. He does not have, you know what I'm saying? He when he came into making it, so he did not have the business strategy to do that shit. He had to take out fucking billions and billions of dollars of loans to repair the millions and millions of dollars of damage that he had did when he first started this business. The only reason this shit even worked. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, that motherfucker did not have the business strategy. You know, there's probably some air sign motherfuckers who came in and stepped in and got that shit up and fucking running. You know what I'm saying? And if you are air sign, I mean, if you are earth sign listening to this shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Just know that, like, I'm not saying this shit to fuck with y'all. I'm saying this shit to get y'all on some air sign shit. It's like, man, look, you got to be out here looking for the new strategy. You got to be out here saying the revolutionary shit. You got to be out here putting out the new shit, the new information. You know what I'm saying? Have this shit y'all doing is motherfucking, it's like leftovers. It's like going to motherfucking Red Lobster and then coming home with some motherfucking leftovers. But it's fucking shrimp and fucking, like the dude I just said early in the tourist video. It's like, man, if motherfuckers showed up my house with some fucking shrimp, motherfucking lobster, the motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, all type of like filet mignon, super expensive, nice gourmet food, but you find out it's leftovers from somebody else's food. It's like, Joe, the shit is leftovers. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, what? I'm eating somebody's leftovers. That's what it's literally like dealing with air. It's like talking to y'all is like eating leftovers. You know what I'm saying? It's like hanging out with fucking losers type shit. You know, there's a guy, there's a horse in a book called Animal Farm. You know what I'm saying? I think it was George Orwell. I think it was a guy named who wrote that shit. It's a book called Animal Farm. So they had a character in there named Boxer. He was a horse. Boxer was like the earth sign. You know what I'm saying? And then like every time he did something wrong, he's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna work harder. I'm just gonna work harder. The motherfucker died eventually. Like he was literally the strongest motherfucker on the farm, but like all he did was suck up to the fucking pigs all day. It was like the pig, like I think you say that shit. He was like, the pigs are always right. The pigs are always right. I think that was some shit like they used to always say. They like he used to fucking. He was a fucking brown noser to his fucking boss, even though his boss was wrong as fuck all the time. Like he still did whatever the fuck, basically what his boss wanted to do, type shit. And it was like, motherfucking douchebag boss get more respect in the earth world than his own fucking spouse, than his own fucking kids and shit. Like motherfucker respect their boss more than they respect their fucking family and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like subconsciously, like they'll never admit this shit. Like they hear me say this shit right now, they're like, hell no. It's like, well, ask your kids. Ask your motherfucking wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, do you feel like you know what I'm saying, spend more time or give more attention to my work and my boss and that energy, or do I give more energy to this relationship and this family and shit like that? And like, before you answer that question, make sure you ask your wife and ask your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Because they will always say, I said this shit in the Capricorn video. I was like, man, Capricorns will put, you know what I'm saying, other shit in front of their family. And like everyone in Capricorns is like, bullshit, I'll never do that shit. I'll never do that shit. But every motherfucking one of the Capricorn spouses in the comments is saying, man, thank you so much for saying this shit because it is so fucking true. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? What that told me is that not only do these motherfuckers don't think that they doing this shit, but they not even considering the perspective from their spouse. Like, motherfucker, you on YouTube on my page talking about, I don't do that. I'll be like, okay, we'll go ask your spouse. And then they won't even go ask, they'll delete their comment. They'll be like, oh shit. Like they don't even look at it like this. They're not even considering their spouse's perspective. You know what I'm saying? So not only is these motherfuckers entitled, but they don't have the ability to see other people's perspective. Taurus got this shit bad. Like they really do not know how to see somebody else's perspective. Matter of fact, they said I was doing an article on apes. You're talking about apes, how you could teach apes sign language, and you could teach them, you know, all different types of words, colors, sounds. You know, you can teach them people's names. They can spell it out with sign language, but you still can't teach these motherfuckers to ask questions. Like you cannot teach a ape in sign language how to formulate a question because they don't have the ability. They don't have no what's called meta. What is meta? Metaphysics. Meta is like universal perspective, meaning that like, you know, the unseen scene, meaning that like, okay, something ain't right here. So I'm gonna ask a question to figure out what's missing. Apes can't do that. They don't have they'll be like green, blue, happy, sad. Like but they can't ask, why is this like that? What is that? They can't even, their mind don't flow that way. You know what I'm saying? Earth signs kind of the same shit, and they're like, they don't have the ability to understand like that. Like every sign, every element got a reason why they don't think astrology is real. You know what I'm saying? Earth sign motherfuckers is because like they don't think that a lot of times astrology is real. They don't understand that shit because they don't have the ability to see outside of their own perspective. It's just so fucking keen to understand. This would make them motherfuckers obsolete. It's like having an iPhone 1 when we on iPhone 10 type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like iPhone 1 don't know it's iPhone 10 out. It just keep running like iPhone 1 type shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's slow as hell. Take a long ass time to download shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't get on all the new apps. It's like old Betsy. It's an old ass phone you don't want to throw away. It's an old ass car you don't throw away. You know what I'm saying? They'll even sell you and give you obsolete things. They'll give the fucking a motherfucking airtime motherfucker will give you an iPhone 1 type shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know who the fuck this is. I ain't answering that shit. You know what I'm saying? So also too, think of Mr. Burns. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker's an earth sign. Smithers, the motherfucker all hunched over and excellent. And how you get a big ass, old ass office with all that outdated ass furniture and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like they whole fucking subconscious is from the fucking 18th century, 19th century, early night, like Scrooge McDuck. You know what I'm saying? Like how you walk around with that top hat on and like you got that old ass classic car where they got the classic, they call it classic shit, classic Cadillac and all that shit. Like, bro, you don't get your old ass, obsolete ass phone, obsolete ass car, obsolete ass house. The fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get some new shit, get you a new house, get you a new car, get you, you know what I'm saying, some new clothes without being a hoarder. You know what I'm saying? That'd be the shit. And then like they hoard old shit and that'd be the whole nother shit. Like these motherfuckers got a whole storage locker full of obsolete shit. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got a storage locker with a bunch of furniture and this shit from the 80s. That they thinking that they gonna sell this shit somewhere on eBay or Amazon, somewhere on Craigslist, and it's like, bro, ain't nobody that they give this shit away for free. Go on fucking Craigslist and click on the free section. You know what I'm saying? Look at the shit that's in the free section, and then go look in the motherfucking Earth Sign storage locker, and you gonna see that they still thinking they gonna sell this shit for the brand new price. Like, oh, I can still sell this motherfucking couch from 1989 for fucking $1,000. It's like, Joe, they got that same couch on Craigslist in the free section, motherfucker. And you can't tell them this shit. You try to tell them this, you know what I'm saying? Books. I didn't walk them motherfucker. Oh my God, they even started on this shit. Like the motherfuckers have books that they ain't even read in over fucking 20 years, just sitting around, this type of shit. Like, what the fuck is you doing with this book, nigga? You could have read this shit, turned around and resold it on fucking Amazon and got at least half your motherfucking money back. Like now this shit ain't even worth a penny on Amazon. This is my motherfucking rant talking about the earth sign shit, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers is obsolete as fuck, bro. You know, I got an uncle in motherfucking St. Louis, same shit. Like this nigga, he don't never come up here, man. Like the whole family up here. You know what I'm saying? Every time family reunions, all the motherfuckers time, this nigga don't never fucking come up here. You know what I'm saying? And get to see his ass like literally once every 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's literally like 3-4 hours away. You know what I'm saying? Whole family up here in Chicago. This nigga will like he literally went off into the woods in motherfucking St. Charles, Missouri, and like went off into the wilderness and run around in the woods shooting deers and shooting motherfucking animals and fishing and shit. He don't fuck with nobody. He won't even come up here to come see the family and shit. You know what I'm saying? To me, that nigga obsolete. Like my whole fucking life. It's like, okay, well I got an uncle, yeah, he in St. Louis, but that nigga obsolete. And then like I don't even see that nigga. It's like an old ass computer that you only use. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I can't even. I'd have to go all the way the fuck down there. You know what I'm saying? To go see this nigga all the time. Like that nigga ain't coming up here. You know what I'm saying? So like in my life growing up, that nigga's been obsolete since day one. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, I got an uncle, but fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like that nigga ain't much use in my life. You know what I'm saying? Ain't much bond there in my life. Ain't much emotional fulfillment there. Ain't no fire. There ain't no earth. Ain't no water. Ain't no nothing. It's like, okay, yeah, I got an uncle, but he's out there. So what are you gonna do? Like, yeah, I got a computer in a motherfucking storage locker, but it's in the storage locker. So what the fuck you gonna do? You know. You know, earth signs need to listen to air signs. It's an air sign in every earth sign life that every earth sign is not fucking listening to. These motherfuckers old and stuck in their ways, just like Pharaoh. When they came and told Pharaoh, it's like, hey man, let my people go. It's air sign shit. It was like, nah, I'm good. Hey, let my people go. Air sign shit. Nah, I'm good. Pharaoh on some Taurus shit, Capricorn shit, Virgo shit. Like he stuck in his motherfucking ways. What ended up happening? All that shit crumbled, lost all of that shit. This is what we call the Taurus verse. This is also slightly Virgo verse. You know what I'm saying? And kind of Capricorn verse. Like whereas Capricorn be trying to build this shit and he, like the Tower card. Like go look up the Tower card in Tarot. That's some Capricorn shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you built this whole big ass tower and the whole shit fucking crumbled and fell the fuck over. You know what I'm saying? So you know, y'all, you see why Earth sign motherfuckers have insurance. You see why they, you know what I'm saying, be on some life insurance type shit. Cause like these motherfuckers be, and if you're not, you need to get on it because like y'all need that insurance because like empires are constantly falling around Earth sign motherfuckers. You know, so yeah, make sure that y'all got y'all insurance straight. Make sure that y'all, you know what I'm saying, keep y'all technology up to date. Make sure you understand the new apps. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you stay up to date on your technology, your air shit. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you stay up to date on your water shit with your nieces and your young nephews and your, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you stay up to date on that shit. Y'all motherfuckers be saying, oh, I got all this money and it's good for the family and then I'm building an empire for my family and then the family don't even know your ass. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, he got on my nerves, so I'll cut his ass out. Oh, he got on my nerves, so I'll cut his ass out. He got on my nerves, so I'll cut his ass out. I did all this for the family, but I'm actually hoarding all this shit for myself type shit. Like, this is straight earthside shit. Like, man, you don't get your obsolete ass the fuck out of here. Like, motherfuckers can't see that you did this shit for yourself from the beginning. Talking about you did this shit for the family. But why, if you did this for your family, why you ain't on your water shit? Why you ain't going to go visit your nieces and your nephews and your motherfucking grandkids and shit like that? Like, why the fuck y'all don't go do that shit then? It's just supposed to be for the fucking family. You know? Why the fuck you ain't teaching this shit to them? You know, water sign shit. You know, get on your fire sign shit. You know what I'm saying? Get some motherfucking charisma. You know, if you want somebody to buy some shit off you, they buy the shit because you're a nice, warm person. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a friendly person, because you can make motherfuckers laugh, because you got some wit and some jokes about yourself. Like, learn to tell some jokes on some fire sign shit. You know what I'm saying? Stay up to date on your sports shit, on your cultural, tribal shit. You know what I'm saying? Your sports, your motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, your movies and the latest movies. It's like, get your conversation game down pat type shit. Stop sounding like you preaching and trying to sell shit to somebody all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Get this shit down pat. Y'all motherfuckers is stiff as fuck, man. I can't, it's stiff fucking rigid ass motherfuckers in y'all ways. Like, like, learn to be smooth, man, on some fire sign shit, on some Lando Calrissian, Billy D. Williams type shit. You know what I'm saying? Get your motherfucking fire game shit down pat. Get off that earth shit. Just dry ass motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? If you experiencing any of this shit, I would love to read y'all comments. Like I said, a lot of times, whereas before, man, I used to put out a lot of videos trying to give y'all real good content, which I still try to do now. Like a lot of times now, I just try to put the content out there and then see what y'all got to say, man. Because like I said, I learn a lot more from the comments in my videos more so than actual content. You see what I'm saying? So I would love to hear what y'all experience with earth signs. You know what I'm saying? If y'all feel what I'm saying is true, I would love to hear what y'all got to say about this, man. Because you ain't gonna fix these motherfuckers. You ain't gonna fix these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell a rock to turn into water. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fucking rock. So, you know, what do you do? I would love to hear some of y'all stories on this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this video, subscribe to my channel. Appreciate it. You did. What up? I got a minute. Okay, so it's your boy K-Blao HOODX. You know what it is. Rolling this split real quick. This is Fire Signs and Risks, part 2. Now, fire signs. I'm really starting to see how y'all think more and more the more I listen to y'all talk. And then like, I have a video on my page somewhere called Niggas and Dopamine. You know what I'm saying? Why we talking about dopamine receptors. And I was saying in that video how dopamine receptors is based on the ability to kind of, basically in a nutshell, like facial expressions. I mean, like if you watch my face long enough, I start doing all shit like this. I'm like, oh, you know, like this is why actors. This is the difference between making a good actor and a bad actor based on like the facial expressions that they can make, because facial expressions get the dopamine receptors moving more than any other thing. Like, you see what I'm saying? And movements, like if you saw my hands, my fingers, or if I put my toes up, like if I was to, I'm not gonna try to show you my feet. I believe in I have fucking very ugly feet. I hate my feet. But you know, like when you see kids' toes, or when you see like a baby smiling at you, you know, this stuff to trigger dopamine receptors. Fire signs got this, I think, more than any other signs, that like they think in people per se. And it's kind of hard concept to imagine, but like I kind of see that. Like, you know, this is why I see in HOODX we got a concept called bastard language lick. It's the first lick. It's like you got to understand that the 26 letters and 9 numbers that I'm using to communicate with you is not going to take you to the thought. What is translate? What am I when you talk? What are you really doing? What the fuck? You translating words. You're taking words and describing an action 9 times out of 10. So like if I say run, or if I say walk, or if I say invest, if I said you know, buy something, like what am I actually doing? I'm taking letters and attaching it onto human action. So if I said punch and you picture somebody punching, you know, this is a punch. So you don't typically think when you say punch, you typically don't think of the letters Punch. What do you think of? You think of a punch. Like in your mind's eye, you kind of see a swing, like you see somebody punching. Like you don't think of the letters. As I'm talking to you, you're not spelling out each letter as I'm saying it for saying in your head. There's actions associated to each word. So you might use it's really kind of a combination of both. Like you sometimes you see the letters, sometimes you see the word. But I think fire signs typically see like the actions of the word more so than the word itself. So like this is why it's difficult to get them to listen to you. Like when they're excited, they don't really hear the words coming out your mouth. Like they kind of they looking for the actions behind the words. So if you're using words that don't have a lot of vibration behind them, if they don't have a lot of action behind them, then that shit can put a fire sign directly to sleep. They like high frequency words like run, turn up. You know what I'm saying? Man, we was drunk as hell. We was fucked up, man. Oh man, there's so many people there. Like, you know, highly exaggerated words. Like, you know, typically big words don't hold a big frequency. Like, you know, so that's going to get you to start thinking. How do I even explain this, man? Like, there's a when you first start studying astrology, that's a perfect example. You see what I'm saying? When you first start studying astrology, you don't know the difference between a Pisces and a Virgo, or an Aquarius and a Leo, or a fucking Sagittarius and a Gemini. Like you don't fucking know. You like you think all people are the same, but like when you first start studying astrology, you be going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You might fall asleep or start nodding off, or you might think it's boring in the beginning because it's like learning a new language. You don't know what the fuck this shit means. So like, you know, the concept of attaching uh initially the words of attaching words and characteristics on the people, it can be boring at first until something clicks, and then like fire signs can become obsessed with this shit, and they're like, what are you doing? You're throwing words on actions that like typically don't have names for, or you have to search a lot more difficult to find names for these words. So you say Virgo, you know, Sagittarius, you know, what are you doing? You're really labeling a brand of human. So, you know, at first this can seem boring to a fire sign like the actual do it, but like once they know it, they be on it. You know, but the concept of sitting a fire sign down and teaching them astrology is almost impossible. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, like if they don't know nothing about it. But once they know, they'll be right there with you. Hold on one second. So, man, come on, man. So, My channel has a lot of quote unquote science in regards of like words, throwing words on actions that typically, are very hard to describe. This is very boring at first. A lot of things about, astrology too is that like you forget what you was like before you knew. Like you've been studying, I don't know, like if you kind of new to this or if you like a noob, then you really can't relate. But like I know like I've been studying this shit for so long, like it's hard for me to even remember what I was like before I started studying this information. So you start studying this information because you're trying to decrease risk. So fire signs it's not like, what I'm saying, it's kind of like water signs. That's why I say a lot of times, man, fire signs, believe it or not, are a lot like water signs in certain ways. In that, the concept of studying astrology to decrease risk. You know what I'm saying? It's like they probably don't even want to know that shit. And it's the same thing when I say about studying stocks and trading stock options. And they're like, I have a whole nother page, corporate algorithm, and I've been promoting, subconsciously through this week on this channel. And they're like, I got a couple fire sign friends, like, what I'm saying, my nigga Mako, shout out Mako, what I'm saying, he a Leo. What I'm saying, this nigga called me today. He was like, man, the big three coming to Chicago at the end of June, we get some t-shirts and get out there and move them and promote them and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, cool, we could do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll cost us about maybe $100, $200 to get some shirts, get out there in the streets, sell them, and like, you probably make a profit, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I told him, I was like, man, you could spend $60, $70 right now on a put on GameStop stock because they said earlier they stock is dropping. You know what I'm saying? You can sell a put. You know what I'm saying, to make about $400 profit for, you know what I'm saying, only risk less, risk about $100. Now to him, you should really stop and think of those two images. Like the shit I suggest to him don't involve no people. It don't involve like getting out there meeting people, talking to people, and like even though there's a risk there, it's a lot less risk. It's a lot less capital involved. You know what I'm saying? You're talking $60 to $100. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of research that's involved in this trade. That's boring as fuck. It's not sexy to a fire sign. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, well, let's go get some money and get on the streets and sell these t-shirts. Now, I bought my first house selling movies, so I know the concept of law averages and selling shit on the street. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this shit for a long time. But like, given a choice between selling CDs on the street for the rest of my life or learning to trade options, I instantly realized that like, okay, I need to start, looking for a better source of income than selling shit on the street. Fire signs ain't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Certain people like this, how to know when to get in the game and know when to get out of the game. Like a fire sign motherfucker be the motherfucker who stay in the game. Like they the motherfuckers who got like Pablo Escobar, perfect example. Like this motherfucker rich as hell, built the whole company still selling drugs and killing people. It's like, Joe, you could stop now. You know what I'm saying? But like fire signs gonna keep going. Like I said, I knew a Sagittarius guy saying shit. This dude used to get thousands and thousands of dollars doing taxes. You know what I'm saying? I used to try to tell him the same thing, man. Invest in a house. I could show you how to get a house for like fucking like $2,000-$3,000 at the time. Now the lick kind of gone. It's like back in the days you can get a car for like $500. You know what I'm saying? Now you get a car, you can get a decent car for about $1,000, $1,500, but like you ain't gonna get the same lick you used to get back then, like $500 cars you could get it back then. You know what I'm saying? Like the same shit back then. You get a house for like fucking $2-3 grand. Now you can get a house, depending on where you look, it may be 7 to 10, maybe like 15. Somewhere between like $7,000 to $15,000, you know what I'm saying, foreclosed if you look good enough. You have to fix it up and stuff. Depending on how much work you want to put in. You know what I'm saying? But same shit, he didn't want to hear that shit. What did he do? He went out and put a lease on a fucking 2000 and whatever year that was car. You see what I'm saying? Like that, like right now it's 2018. I'm like, hey man, given how you can buy this foreclosed house or you put a lease on this motherfucking 2018 car. Like they gonna choose the motherfucking 2018 car. They'll tell you, oh no, I'm gonna get the house. I'd rather buy the house. It's like nah, cause like unless you can move in, like that's the shit. When you buy a foreclosed house, it takes time to get it up to, you know what I'm saying, it takes time to get it fixed up and stuff like that before you can actually move in there, you know what I'm saying, and make it yours. So like, you know, a lot of times fire signs, especially Aries, they need shit to happen right then. It's like shoot now, ask questions later. Like, you know what I'm saying, if I can't move in there right now, then I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So like, they need that immediate payoff. That's why, you know, it's the concept of trading stocks, stuff like that. Same shit. It's not sexy to them. You don't set off the images and their dopamine receptors in that there's no immediate payoff. This is why a lot of times fire signs can be can be attracted to selling drugs and you know what I'm saying, you know, just quick flips like my stepmom called, she Leo, she called it hoodwink. You know what I'm saying, like hoodwink shit, like, you know what I'm saying, instead of like long term learning, like going to school, getting an education, getting a PhD and shit like this, like a lot of times fire signs, they need that immediate payoff, or like they'll even use shit to, you know what I'm saying, get in the way of that, and they're like partying, hanging out all night, shit like that. Like a lot of fire signs who are in school, who are in college, stuff like that, like they had them long nights, so they call burning the candle at both ends, you know, hence the fire sign shit, and they're like, it's increased. So even when you do get that low risk shit, you still get them introducing high risk shit into low risk shit, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, on my channel, I have a specific way on how to trade options. It's like, look, all you gotta do is do this every day, and it's gonna work. A fire sign and like an air sign too. Like, believe it or not, they're gonna move in between. They're gonna try to move in between. They literally do not have that ability to like sit there and repeat that same trade over and over. Like they're gonna go off and do some other shit. They're gonna increase risk into that type of trade. And also too, you gotta consider like this being a lifestyle, and they're like, you know, the spouse that they choose. Like a lot of times when fire signs come to me advice, or you know what I'm saying, about their spouse, it'd be hard for me to give them advice, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, the same shit that piss them off kind of turn them on in a certain regard. So it's like, they like, they'll come at you like, man, I fucking hate my spouse. You know what I'm saying, I'm about to leave this motherfucker. And then like, you kind of want to tell them like, okay, maybe that's the best thing to do. But then like in there, you can kind of hear it's like, man, they attracted to that shit. Like my stepfather, you know what I'm saying, he's a Sagittarius. Him and my mom, they fucking go. They say the most ruthless, bogus shit to each other like every fucking day. And he threatens to leave her like every day. This has been going on for like the past 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the fuck they feed off that energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, to me as an air sign, it's a foreign thought. So like, just as soon as you want to say, man, like maybe y'all should break up for a little while. You know what I'm saying? You realize is that like, to them that's boring. Like I can't really give them that advice. Like, you know what I'm saying? That like, maybe you should take some time out and get your life together so you can move at a more stable pace in your relationship. Like that's boring to them. Like they go to sleep in the middle of me even saying that shit. That's what I said. I'd be like, damn, like, okay, so like I have to uh change my angle on the advice that I give the fire signs a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? That's why I listen to them a lot, and I really try to learn from fire signs more so than like trying to correct them or fix them. You know what I'm saying? Because they gonna do shit they way anyway. So a lot of times I'd be like, okay, I don't want to come off boring. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm a listen. You know what I'm saying? Because my advice a lot of times I'm fully aware that like my advice does not. It's like they like risk. They like the bullshit. Like they like, you know what I'm saying, dealing with people. And then like, mind you, like a lot of part of me like trading stocks, putting out these blogs, stuff like that. Like y'all see me a lot of times I'm by myself. I'm not around a lot of people trying to, you know what I'm saying, make shit happen. Like I'll be trying to figure out how to do this myself. This is called Sigma, the Sigma male. You can look this shit. A lot of Aquarius are Sigma, and then like we kind of go the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm comfortable being by myself. I'm comfortable in quiet time learning how to, you know, new trade strategies, new techniques, stuff like that. This is also in air sign, they call it Four of Swords. You know what I'm saying? But that's not really what you get with fire signs. You get like, look at, like I said, the Five of Wands. That's a uh, bunch of kids, you know, trying to hit each other with sticks and shit like that. And it's like from a distance, it look like they're trying to whoop each other ass, but when you get up close, you realize they just playing. So like I said, this is like literally like WWE. When you first turn to WWE, you see people getting body slammed and shit like that left and right. But when you look close, you see that they're not really trying to hurt each other. They just kind of like, it's scripted, you know, they kind of playing. So, like sports, when you watch sports, boxing, you see each other punching each other, or MMA, they killing each other, and then at the end they get up and hug each other, and it's like, what the fuck, like, you know, how is this a living? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, to a fire sign, it makes sense, but like, you know, to somebody like me, an air sign or some shit like that, I would kind of look at that like, hey, like, I ain't gonna do no shit like that. Like, I'm gonna try to figure out how to make some money right online, doing some trades or some shit like that, or like, you know, blogging and, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna fucking do no shit like that, but like, you know, the same shit like you see motherfuckers doing manual labor and shit like I got, you know what I'm saying? It's just two fire signs, a Leo and an Aries. The motherfuckers will work on my roof. You know what I'm saying? They do all my roofing work for me. You know what I'm saying? Same shit. They'll be out on the roof all fucking day, walking around on the goddamn roof, getting drunk as hell, hammering away and loud ass music and shit. And it's like, I be looking at them like, Joe, what the fuck? Why the fuck would anybody want to do this? But like to them, it's they shit. And it's like, man, you standing on the roof at any given moment, you can see drunk as hell, you slip and fall off this motherfucking roof anymore. But it's like they've been doing this shit for the past fucking 30 years. And it's what they do. You know, to them it makes sense. So, like I said, imagine me sitting there and trying to explain to them, like, okay, like, you know, you ain't got to do this. All you got to do is learn how to, you know, do a couple of trades like this, and money will come right into your motherfucking account. It's like, to them, that shit is boring. And I be like, how the fuck is that boring? You know, and like, and mind you, people in stock trades, they say this shit all the time. They be like, making money should be boring. Stock trading should be boring. And then like, you know, you don't want a lot of risk. You don't want a lot of rowdiness. You don't want a lot of, you know what I'm saying, craziness and hype, because you don't make money off hype. And mind you, this is the total opposite of like Timothy Sykes. You know what I'm saying? He give you this advice, saying shit like he trade penny stock. You study Timothy Sykes, who's a Aries, study his stock trading method, and compare it to somebody like uh, Tom Solzhenitsyn. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy who created Thinkorswim. He's a Pisces. He's born March 6th. He's fucking genius. You know what I'm saying? You know, he has a totally different trading strategy than Tim Sykes. His is like over fucking 80%. It's like 80% less risk. You know what I'm saying? Trading options in the way that he teaches you versus like Tim Sykes, who's teaching you to trade off of hype, which is like penny stock promotions. And they're like, it's literally what we talking about in this video. It's like penny stock promoters put out these promotions called pump and dumps. It's like, okay, this is a shitty ass stock. So they'll hire a promoter. They'll give him like fucking 10, 20, 30 grand or something like that to put out blogs. Said, hey, this stock is about to shoot up. It's about to shoot up. So, you know, all these people, all these new people who really don't know how to trade stocks, they buy in thinking it's going to go up, and it does, and it shoots up, and then all of a sudden, like, they'll just dump the stock. Like, you'll see motherfuckers dump 100,000 shares or 50,000 shares right back into the market after it went up, like, you know, fucking 70, 80%. You know what I'm saying? It only costs a couple of pennies to get in, so it shoot up, and then they just dump it right off. So all the people who bought in lose that support, so the whole shit just tanks. You know what I'm saying? And they lose all the people who bought in high, you know what I'm saying? They, oh my God, it's going up. And they buy in, it's like boom, it go right back down, you lose all that fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So what Tim Sykes do, he shorted. It's called short. You buy on the way down. You kind of wait for it to start toppling, and then you just short it all the way down. So you make all that money come back down, because he knows, he's like, it's not a matter of if it's going down, it's a matter of when it's going down, because like these are shitty businesses. These businesses suck. They're just doing some hype shit. You know what I'm saying? To do a pump and dump, and he shorts the dumps on the way down. It's fucking brilliant philosophy toward trading, and him as an Aries, that's why I could kind of see him embracing that philosophy, because he understands bullshit promotion. So like, you feel what I'm saying? So he's gonna give you that advice, but that's not good trading advice at all. Like to somebody who's brand new trading stocks, it sounds like a brilliant strategy, but it's not, because you don't know the hype, and then like some of these hypes could be real shit, and then like you might fuck around and lose some money. So you know, but it's a different philosophy, it's just a different way of life. That's what works for him. He has what's called a high risk tolerance, which is what a lot of firesides do. They have high risk tolerance. So, you know, if you don't know this shit, I get the fuck out of it. If you don't know this shit, you know what I'm saying? You be with a fire sign motherfucker, and like you be sitting there trying to like get them out of that lifestyle or get them out the game, like to get them out the game, and they be married to the game. Yeah, you gonna definitely have a problem trying to coach them to do that shit. And like I said, you look at a lot of the businesses Jay-Z had, he's never really had a successful business, like never. You know what I'm saying? Rockefeller is quote unquote successful because it was, you know, three partners involved. But like once he, you know, left there and you start working with Def Jam, that shit didn't work. You know what I'm saying? You did Rock La Familia, that didn't work. It took a while as Jay-Z, you know, even with Tidal, he lost a lot of money with Tidal. You know what I'm saying? he's a billionaire from his music sales and stuff like that. But as far as his businesses, like Jay-Z is not a good businessman. Vince McMahon, who runs fucking WWE, he's a Virgo, but you know what I'm saying? If you look at the his business practices, you see that like he's never uh like giving into the hype of things. And then like if you study like what Vince McMahon did back, and I don't want to get too deep into this, you know what I'm saying? But like he really understood this. He really could separate like the hype of wrestling and then like the business of wrestling. Like he was one of the fucking geniuses, pioneers who did that shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of fire signs fall into the hype of whatever it is that they doing, more so than the business. So if you're an artist, you know what I'm saying, you gonna be starving artist. If you a fucking uh promoter, like a lot of times motherfuckers be a janky promoter. You know what I'm saying? Because they more into the hype than the business. So they just want to throw a party. So they'll throw a fucking $2,000-3,000 party saying that they're gonna make all this money and because that's how I look in their mind. But then, you know, at the end of the month they don't have their fucking rent money because they blew all their fucking rent money on a fucking $2,000-3,000 party. And you be with them. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, and you know, then they sitting there looking at you like, okay, well, I'm gonna need you to get out there and make some money to pay the rent. And like, you be like, man, what the fuck? Like, and this goes on and on and on and on. I know, several Sagittarius like this, like, you know what I'm saying? My stepfather's Sagittarius and they had this shit bad. He had this shit bad. Like every time my mom tried to make a business move, she had to line it up to some type of like mania that was going on in his mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was always in a state of mania, manic. You know what I'm saying? So like the concept of an influx of money coming in shook his frequency to the core where like, you know, he had a small tank. Like a lot of times fire signs have a what's called a small tank. And then like they say the average person typically don't have more than $700-800 in their bank account. And that's called like a safety zone. And then like when you look in your bank account, you see anything above like 700-800 bucks, you start tweaking. Like you gonna splurge, you're like, okay, I can get this, I can get this, I can get this. It ain't until like the shit hit like 700-800, you're gonna be like, oh shit, okay, I gotta pay the rent. I got like you know, your rent, whatever your rent is. Like if your rent is about 1,000, like typically your bank account is gonna be right around like where your rent is. Anything above that, you're gonna tweak. So and it's called a short tank. I mean a tank, and then like this cup versus like this cup. You know, obviously I can fit more water in here, or we call money in here than in here. You know what I'm saying? This is a bigger tank. So like, you know what I'm saying? Fire signs a lot of times they got a tank like this, and then like, because of the height, like the height make they cup like this. So when you go pour money in here, it's only so much that can fit until it's gonna naturally overflow into a bigger cup like this because these motherfuckers have a bigger tank. And like that's what fire signs like times they gotta work on expanding their tank. And like um if you think small, you get small results. You know what I'm saying? If you hang out with people who are doing janky promotions and shit like this, you know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck you go get. Like, you know what I'm saying? Follow people who are millionaires. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at the people, like, come on, everybody heard this shit. If you hang around 4 broke people, you're gonna be the 5th one. If you hang around 5 rich people, you're gonna be the 5th one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like look at your mentors. You know what I'm saying? Are your mentors giving you business strategies? Are they giving you safe long-term business strategies? You know what I'm saying? Do they have what you trying to get? And did they go, you know what I'm saying? Did they have to, you know, do some crazy shit to get it? You know what I'm saying? Like, start paying attention to detail, man, to the people who you listen to and the people you get your advice from. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in your 30s and, you know what I'm saying, your 40s and shit like that. Like, you know, start looking at the choices that you're making. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and y'all, I know a lot of times shit be a waste of time. You be telling this shit too far. I really just try to put this content out as a journal and also for the people who wear the fire sign. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, so the best advice I give you is like, man, like start, you know, becoming your own resource. Stop depending on these other people that don't have your way of looking at things. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is so fucking key. You know, you depending on somebody who got a whole nother way of life, looking at life. So like, it's better to respect the way people look at life and just, you know, maintain your, you know what I'm saying, your foundation. Keep building your foundation brick by brick, brick by brick every day. Earth sign shit, man. Respect Scrooge. You know, yes, you know, stop gambling and start investing. It's the best advice I can give fire signs. You know, or if you with a fire sign. You know what I'm saying? Start investing in yourself. And check out my other channel, Corporate Algorithm. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? I hope you can check it out and learn something from that. All right? Subscribe to my other channel. You dig. I'm out of here.
And it's your boy K-Blao, HOODX. Make sure you sign up for HOODX.com and subscribe to my channel, my friend. Hold on. Turn my fan on. Alright, so this video is called Sagittarius In-Laws. Now, this is very rare information. I've not seen much information on this, and that's why I'm kind of putting this video out here, because I'm hoping that other people will leave comments and tell me their stories, because I cannot find much information on this at all. But my stepfather's a Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying? And this nigga has got to be like the dumbest, like one of the dumbest motherfuckers I ever met in my motherfucking life. No bullshit. Like, my mom loves this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't, the thought is so Joe, like the thought is so foreign that I was like, Joe, I gotta put something out here on the internet to start this thought, and then see who show up and leave comments, because like, Sagittarius think they slick. They think they slick. You know what I'm saying? Like, when my stepfather and my mom married, you know what I'm saying, it was just a matter of time for, you know, slowly we just started, like, me and my brothers, we just slowly started getting pushed out the picture. It was like, he wanted my mom, but he didn't want the kids that came with it. Like, that's the shit. Like, Sagittarius, they think they bigger than the whole family. And this is not just my stepfather. Like, I've seen this in numerous situations. Like, Sagittarius don't ask the right shit. For like, a Sagittarius be the motherfucker who'll be like, okay, well, I'm your new dad, or I'm your new mom, and I want you to call me. Like they might necessarily won't come out and say this shit, but like, they be implying this type of shit. Is it like, okay, well, I'm your new parent type shit. Like, they literally want to replace, you know what I'm saying, and have the same respect as like the real parent. You know what I'm saying? And like, like, a lot of times they don't even be talked to the real parent. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is just in marriage situations, or like, you know, dating situations, but stepmom, stepdad situations. But like, I've seen this multiple times. Like, they don't be thinking family. They be thinking like conquering. They be thinking like the social aspect of relationship. They're not thinking like family. I've seen this a lot, and they're like, it take a while before they like get all the way on board. And even still, they still don't be all the way on board. And they're like, they don't even know how to interact with the child. I've seen, like, my stepfather, not just me, I'm talking about like with all of my siblings, totally incongruent. Like, he has no understanding of like my father and the things that were taught. Like, he don't even see these, like, he don't understand the outside influence. I'll give you another situation. Like, you know what I'm saying, even though you know what I'm saying, Solange wasn't married to Jay-Z, but you think of like Solange and Jay-Z in the elevator, like when she spazzed on him and just start hitting him and shit, and like Beyonce was kind of looking at him like she ain't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, Solange is not Jay-Z's stepdaughter, but it's like his sister-in-law. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, this is how that whole shit spiraled out of control. Mind you, this is cancerverse shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, Jay-Z got chronic cancer. This is how that whole Becky with the good hair, all that lemonade shit started spiraling. It was because, you know, Jay-Z got called out for being in the elevator with Solange, and she spazzed on his ass and started hitting him and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, you gotta see there in Solange's cancer ways that she was like basically protecting her sister, protecting the family name, trying to show Jay-Z that like he wasn't bigger. He wasn't bigger than the Knowles family. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, this is what you get subconsciously with Sagittarius in-laws. And they're like, they come in and literally try to like take over the whole, not take over, but like act like they bigger than the whole family. Like, motherfucker, do you have any idea like the history of the family? Like, do you even man, Joe. You know, I know a Sagittarius stepfather who, you know what I'm saying, who was with this chick. You know what I'm saying? He was taking care of her daughter. and then the nigga got caught cheating. You know what I'm saying? And like, I never got to see how he explained that shit to her. And then like, okay, you supposed to be my stepdad, but you cheated on my mom. Like, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, like my stepdad, from what I know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If he cheated on her, I don't know. I don't want to know. But like, you know, like you will get this shit with a sag, and it's like, okay, I was supposed to be embracing you as my father, but it's like it's a game to them. That's just like a tax. Like kids in a relationship with a sag, it's like tax. It's like, oh shit, I forgot. Like, you know, you go to the store with like they like a 2-liter soda or pop, it might cost you 99 cents. So you show up with 99 cents and you forget that this shit gonna come to like 108. It's like tax. You like, oh fuck, this is how Sagittarius think of kids in marriage. Like it's like a man, you didn't think about the tax. This thought plays out through the entire relationship. Like I've seen this a lot. It'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, the kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like good movie kind of watch is what's that movie called? Long Kiss Goodnight. You know what I'm saying? With I think Gina Davis was her name. The main character. The main character in Long Kiss Goodnight. You know what I'm saying? Like the way she was with her daughter. It was like the kid, you know what I'm saying? Even though it was her real daughter, you know what I'm saying? But like, she was kind of approaching the thought the same way like how a SAG approach their kids. It's like, shit, what about the kid? Like, DMX, you know what I'm saying? Even though them was his real kid, you look at the situation with, they had a video while I was called Ivana Fix My Life, you know what I'm saying? With him and his son was on there, and that's his real son, you know what I'm saying? And I actually followed up a couple videos behind it. I don't even know where this video is, but there's a video on the internet somewhere of like DMX's son talking about his father, you know what I'm saying? I highly suggest, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I'm saying, anybody who is Sagittarius or with a Sagittarius watch this, because this is kind of the feeling that like Sagittarius kind of approach, like, man, this is my life, it's my life, it's my life. Like they can't really see how, like, you know, this person's like looking at them, like they don't get this shit, you know what I'm saying? Look at like Frank Sinatra, you know what I'm saying, who's been married multiple times, kids come in, you know, through the multiple women he's married, he's been a stepfather to multiple kids, you know what I'm saying? And you think about the relationship, you know what I'm saying, the relationship that those kids probably have with him, and they're like, you know, it's superficial, you know, this is why a lot of, if you go back and watch my Sagittarius video that I made, you know what I'm saying, I kind of said this, and they're like, you know, you got to appreciate the superficial about Sagittarius, because like the whole relationship with the kid, you see the superficial in them when you look at them dealing with their spouse's kids, you know what I'm saying, the stepdad, stepmom relationship. You see the superficial, and they're like, I very rarely see a SAG go above and beyond to actually, you know what I'm saying, create a relationship. Like if you notice when Jay-Z and Solange had that incident, a couple days later they went out and put out some pictures of them, basically having a good time. They were playing and shit. It was a fucking photo. It was fucking bullshit. Like they put it out there to like, you know, heal some of the damage that Solange had did. You know, they were trying to make an image like they were getting along. You know what I'm saying? But even then, you see, it was superficial. You know what I'm saying? This is what you get when you're dealing with Sagittarius, and they're like, you're gonna get half-ass attempts of them trying to make it work just for the sake of the relationship. But like in reality, like their heart is not in it. Like they don't fucking care about the kid. Like they do, but like I said, it's like taxes. It's like it's something that just come along with it. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be congruent. Like they gonna overdo it in the sense of, okay, well, I'm your new mom, I'm your new dad, or like you gonna get this type of shit, or you gonna get like, and mind you, they just be saying that shit because they don't know no other way to approach the situation. It's like trying to fit a circle into a fucking square, like a box. It's like they're not going to adjust to the square. Like, you know, see, it's like, motherfucker, I'm a circle. I'm gonna go into this box as a circle. It's like they're not, congruent like that. I'm hoping that, you know, some other people can relate to what I'm saying. I look at the situation with also like Brad Pitt. You know what I'm saying? Brad Pitt's going through a divorce right now with Angelina Jolie, to the point where it's like she didn't even want him to see the kids. You know what I'm saying? She almost lost custody of the kids because she had stopped him from seeing the kids. And mind you, these are not Brad Pitt's real kids. These are adopted kids that him and Angelina Jolie had, you know, had adopted. So you can imagine them, you know, trying to approach him as the real father, but then he's over here with, you know, he's trying to get back with Jennifer Aniston. He's you know, it's like, man, it's like a part-time stepdad. Just think of the situation of the kids looking at Brad Pitt. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, they've already lost their real father, and here they are embracing this guy as their second father, and then he's, you know, divorcing Angelina Jolie. So it's like, and then, you know, he's coming back, oh, I want to see my kids this, my kids that. It's like, bro, like, first of all, these ain't even your kids. Second of all, you entered this relationship knowing that, like, okay, this is not, this ain't a game, and they're like, you adopting other kids. It's like, you're supposed to make this work. You know what I'm saying? But he's kind of like a playboy in that, like, he don't really get the big picture of what he's actually doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he kind of wants his cake and eat it too. You look at, like, there was rumors going around about Nicki Minaj and Eminem dating, and they both denied it. Well, they kind of playing with the idea. But if you just pause and think of Nicki Minaj as Haley's stepmom, just stop and think of that image in your head. Think of Eminem walking around with Haley and Nicki Minaj, and like, what kind of conversation Nicki Minaj is gonna have for Haley? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some weird shit. She's not really stepmom material. You follow what I'm saying? Katie Holmes, same shit, and she broke up with Tom Cruise. She started dating Jamie Foxx. She started dating some, you know, I think some other guy, Jackson or something like that. You know, and you know, she got dumped. You know what I'm saying? Like, from a standpoint of, like, these men already have daughters. Like, Jamie Foxx already has a daughter. You know what I'm saying? I believe her other boyfriend, I don't know if he had a daughter, but, like, at the same time, you can kind of see them kicking her to the curb, and they're like, you don't fit in to, you know, my life situation. And, like, Jamie Foxx is a single dad. You know what I'm saying? And the idea of him bringing Katie Holmes into that was like, no, I'm not doing that shit. Like, you know, and that kind of go back to what I was saying. I think that nigga seen my Sagittarius video, and then, like, he was like, you know, he was fucking her for a little while, and then he kept it moving. You know, you really need to consider this if you got kids and you about to get with a Sagittarius man or woman. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna be thinking about this shit, and then, like, all of the fucking interactions between them and your child is superficial as fuck. You know what I'm saying? They not listen to the questions that they ask you about your kids. You know what I'm saying? Do they ask you questions, you know what I'm saying, about the kids that's pertains to what you going through? You know what I'm saying? I see this shit a lot, and they're like, they be trying to get rid of the goddamn kids. They be like, man, I can't wait for these kids to get the fuck out of here, so it just be me and you type shit. Like, they'll say shit like this or think it. Yeah, Sagittarius kind of like, they want to take over the household more so than you know, embrace a marriage. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's more like, okay, well, I'm the boss. You know what I'm saying? So, but they don't think it is, you know what I'm saying, how to play out with the kids. So you gotta watch them, man. You know, it's like I said, and I don't really have much information on this at all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really hoping that, you know, a lot of people who follow my page and leave comments on my page, leave great comments and material. So that's kind of why I did this. And then, like, I'm probably will make a part 2 to this. So I'm hoping that you guys leave some good information, because it's a very rare topic that I've seen kind of mentioned in passing, but I've never found any content on this. So please leave some information. I appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. All right? You dig.
What is it's your boy K-Blao HOODX. Make sure you sign up for HOODX.com. And we are back in the car, man. Y'all take another ride with me. It's been a while since we took a ride. That's because I lost my phone. And I had to get this phone. And the other phone I had in between time sucked. So I got this phone that's a lot better. So we back in the ride, man. What's up, yo? We about to smoke. Yes. Now, I know you're probably shocked by the title of this video. And yes, I said it, air signs are whores. But believe it or not, I was going to name this video air signs are thoughts. But then I was like, well, which one is more offensive, being called a thought or a whore? And I was like, being called a whore is definitely more offensive than being called a thought. So, I went with a whore. Now, mind you, I'm an air sign, I'm an Aquarius. So, naturally your first question is gonna be like, so what are you saying? You're a whore? You're a whore? Like, yeah, motherfucker, I was a whore. And not just a whore, but like I was a hoe. And then like, motherfuckers do whole ass shit. Like I used to do a lot of whole ass shit too. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you this. Like, I don't give a fuck what people think, you know what I'm saying? But like, this video probably gonna piss a lot of people up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting you know right now. You can cut this off at any time you want. Put that shit up. I'm also rolling a blunt as I'm driving. Like, they have this guy on, what's his name? XXXTentacion. I think that's his name. He's a fucking crack. Now, this dude is like a hoe and a whore. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, you looking at this dude that like beat the shit out of his girl. I think they say he was cheating on his girl and everything. He came out and said he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? She had bruises all over her face, like that, like some straight whore ass shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like I said in my video, I got a video called Air Signs and Swords. Where I break down the air sign mentality, and I tell you that, like, you gotta, when you understand an air sign, you know you're dealing with tragedy somewhere in that motherfucker. Like, essentially, he stabbed somebody for trying to rape his mom or some shit, or trying to kill his mom or some shit back in the day, and he ended up stabbing the dude. You know what I'm saying? And, now mind you, this was in self-defense, you know, but, yeah, man, like, he tried to kill this dude for basically trying to do some shit to his mom. And basically, you know what I'm saying, his man, he got away with it. So, like, if you go into, let's say my video, Air Signs and Swords, I tell y'all, man, air signs, it's a fucking gun. It's like an AK. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a person, it's a weapon. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you imagine him protecting his mom at a young age, trying to stab somebody, trying to, you know what I'm saying, fuck with his mom, and him growing up with that understanding of life. You see what I'm saying? So that's going to turn into the shit you dealing with him getting with, you know, with his girlfriend. I forget her name. I think it was like Audrey or something like that. I forget his girlfriend's name. You know what I'm saying? But she not looking at, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit. Like, you get, like I say, when people get with these people they don't know, they triggers and they chambers, you thinking that you getting with just an average. It's like, nah, motherfucker, you need to know that you getting with a gun, like you marrying a motherfucking AK-47. So if you fuck with this motherfucker, he's already off the deep end. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he ain't, like, you not with him, per se. Like, you know what I'm saying? You with him, but you ain't with him. Like, you don't know this motherfucker. Like, you with a guy, but you're not with XXXTentacion. Like, you don't know the details. Like, you don't know this motherfucker has issues, you know, about certain shit. You say the wrong shit, this motherfucker jump up and fucking stab shit out your motherfucking ass. You know what I'm saying? To him, he don't see himself as some whole ass shit, but in his mind, it's justified. Like, you think, like, that's like, you think the dude who he stabbed was trying to fuck with his mom, you think that motherfucker, like, is walking around saying, oh man, this fucking kid stabbed me. He's like, no, motherfucker, you knew what you did was wrong. So, in relationship settings, this is what you get a lot of times. You dealing with water signs. You be like, people like, oh man, you fucking cheated on me. You know what I'm saying? The reason air sign is such a prayer, cheat on you, is because 9 times out of 10, there's some shit going on that's not being communicated. You know what I'm saying? Like, the motherfucker may just not even be empty. It's like you something you just don't want to even hurt some feeling. You know what I'm saying? Aquarius, a lot of times, have been hurt. Libras have been hurt too. You know what I'm saying? Air signs have had their ass whooped. Like, I done had my ass whooped a hell of fucking times, man, growing up. I whooped a lot of people's asses too, you know what I'm saying? But we done had our ass whooped. We ain't scared to get our ass whooped. So, we ain't scared to go into physical shit. So, like, you know, we don't think, like, okay, like, this is fuck, you might not want to do this shit. This shit might backfire. It's like, nah, motherfucker, like, it's a fucking gun. We gonna pull the trigger. You know, cheating. Most people say cheating is like when somebody sleep with somebody else behind somebody else's back. Like, you're in a relationship, you go sleep with somebody else. Like, to an air sign, yeah, that's cheating, but like, there's gonna be shit that's gonna lead up to the cheating. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know what I'm saying? So air sign, like, that's cheating. But a lot of times this shit don't get discussed. Like, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers just may not be into you. Like, if you a guy, you dating a girl, I mean, an air sign girl, she might think you just lame as hell. You know what I'm saying? But she don't want to tell you that shit, so she just like kind of stuck with you. Like, that's like, this air sign shit, like, it's like, okay, I'm in a relationship with this motherfucker. Like, they'll date you and don't even like an air sign motherfucker get a relationship with somebody they don't even like. This is them want to hurt their feelings and they know that they need them type shit. Water sign motherfuckers prey on this shit. You know what I'm saying? So then later on, you hit a water sign, come like, oh, they fucking cheat on this. Like, motherfucker, they was getting into you like that, and you was lucky you was even with this motherfucker. Like, they kind of did you a favor by being with you in the first place. Like, this is literally how air sign people see shit. Like, motherfucker, I did you a favor by dating you. You know, I can like you. You kept fucking calling me stalking you. And I said, fuck it, it came in. But, like, really, I don't even fucking like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if that thought ain't getting communicated, yeah, fucking air sign will go cheat on you. You know what I'm saying? And, like, motherfuckers know. That motherfucker, like, you called this motherfucker 15 times, 20 times, they ain't called you back once. You know this motherfucker don't like you, it was just a booty call, you know what I'm saying? But, like, what do people do? Like, they push, they want to get in a relationship. And the whole time, it's like, motherfucker, like, I didn't even like you like that. We was just fucking, and you fell in love, and I was just tolerating your ass. I don't love you as much as you love me. That don't mean I'm fucked up. Like, you know, this is clearly how air sign people teach you. And the concept, too, like, I was just talking about this with a friend of mine, you know what I'm saying? Lilith, the concept of Lilith. And then, like, if you don't know Lilith, you know what I'm saying? Before the Bible, there was another woman before Eve, her name was Lilith. And Lilith came out the dirt just like Adam. And, like, she believed that she didn't have to put on her back and fuck missionary. Like, she wanted to ride Lilith. Like, so, I mean, she wanted to ride Adam. She thought they was equal. She was more masculine than Eve, so they got rid of her ass and got Eve. They took Eve out of Adam's ribs, whereas Lilith came out the ground just like Adam. So Lilith felt like, no, fuck, I'm just as equal as you. Why the fuck I gotta bow down to you, brother? You mother bow down to me. I got life coming out of me. So I can give birth. You know what I'm saying? Be equal, but you can't do that shit. So, like, what are you talking about? So, like, Lilith basically left. This is age of Pisces shit. So, I mean, it's kind of like age of Pisces shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? During this age, Lilith is in jail, per se. Like, Lilith got sent off into the wilderness. Lilith ain't around. You know what I'm saying? Adam really got two women. A lot of people don't think of it like this. So, like, every time people is like Lilith, and they're like, we rebel against the standards of relationships, like, you know what I'm saying, like, air sign men, like, they got Lilith in them, like, they don't want to be with Eve, they want Lilith, like, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of hard to understand when you know what I'm saying, like, all this shit's a constant, there's no real Lilith out here walking around the world, there's no real Eve walking around the world, but, like, when you deal with a guy such an air sign, like, you compare Eve to Lilith, and just know that he wants Lilith more so than Eve. And then, like, you go back to XXX Extension, whatever, like, in his mind, you know what I'm saying, he's going to justify whooping that chick ass. You know what I'm saying? In his mind, it's justified. And then, like, just like Lilith is justified in leaving Adam, she's like, motherfucker, like, we equal, right? Okay, then, so if you hit me, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And mind you, like, you know, people say you should never put your hands on a woman. You should never put your hands on a woman. Like, an air sign gonna find some reason to justify. Like, mind you, like, shit literally happened to me. Like, yes, but believe it or not, yeah, I had to fucking kill a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because a bitch fucking stabbed me. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking stabbed by a fucking. Now, you tell me a bitch stabbed you. You don't deserve this bitch don't deserve to be thrown up. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You know, like, I'll put that shit in the video. Yes, a bitch stabbed me, and I had to fucking steal on her ass. You know what I'm saying? Now, am I proud of this shit? Of course not. You know what I'm saying? But on some Lilith, like I was saying about Lilith, like, there's gonna be certain situations where a man gotta put his fucking hands on a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, like, XXX, y'all used to be telling his mama told him growing up, she's like, man, if a woman keep hitting you, then you gotta put your hands on her, fucking put your hands on her. He was taught this shit growing up, create a sword shit. So, like, you know, under the Lilith Act, like, every time motherfuckers don't pull it. Like, you okay, we equal, right? We equal, like, we gonna see the contradiction that like in the when a woman being Lilith, like okay, yes we equal, yes I don't have to sleep with you like that. How a woman can respect that in Lilith terms, like a man gonna make you see that it's hypocrisy and a man form, and then like the bullshit that come along with relationships, and then like you know what I'm saying, if you doing unattractive shit, you doing shit that's not sexy, you might be, so you doing goofy shit that's pissing off an air sign motherfucker, like they gonna get your ass back, like they gonna fuck around and they gonna be like, okay, well I can't completely pay off this motherfucker, this person is not, you know what I'm saying, the right person, so they will date other people and not hurt your feelings. Now you gonna look at this as lying, cheating, you know what I'm saying, they'll tell you like, man, fuck, it's only cheating if it's a game, like that's somebody told you, I mean, if it's only cheating if you admit it's a game, you know what I'm saying, what are you cheating? Cheating in games. You know what I'm saying? So if you start treating the relationship like it's a game, then yes, air sign will start cheating. And then like doing shit thinking that she can get away with it. And like, motherfucker, if you already, you know what I'm saying, if you a air sign, I mean if you a guy and you dating an air sign female, you know what I'm saying, and you texting a bitch all night, you know what I'm saying, she might not even trip on your ass, you know what I'm saying, but don't be surprised when you look up and see her texting another guy, some shit like that, like, and you fuck around, get another man, who the fuck is that you texting on this guy, what the fuck you mean? Like, what the fuck, what about me? Like, motherfucker, you was texting her, like, and mind you, like, they gonna be more pissed off about the fact that you brought that shit to them, you know what I'm saying, because, like, every time we'll have an open relationship with us, and then, like, they want to give for, they be like, okay, bro, especially, like, in the beginning, when you first start dating, and then they find out you talking to somebody else, you might be like, when people are dating, you might be dating one or two, like, most people a lot of times don't come into relationships already paired off or dating other people, you know what I'm saying, so like, you might not notice, and then like, you know what I'm saying, you might be talking to a person, you might be talking like 2-3 other females, like, so we're just dating, but you thinking that y'all exclusive, like, motherfucker, like, I never told you we was fucking exclusive, like, you see what I'm saying, but like, to an air sign, they don't see the hypocrisy in that, like, and a lot of females have guys, you know, 2-3 guys, they may be dating, fucking, whatever, like, you see what I'm saying, but, they will, you know what I'm saying, a female be fucking 2-3 different dudes, and then you call it just dating, but like a guy's, you know, fucking 2 females, like, fucking cheating, you know what I'm saying, the air sign gonna see the bullshit, man, they're like, they gonna see the game, so okay, this is a game, cheating, to the air sign is like the shit that leads up to cheating, like, you know what I'm saying, it's like, it's kind of hard to understand. It's like they gonna have a whole valid shit that led them to the action of why they cheating, and it may not even be your fault. Like they just may not even be into you. Like you may not be attracted to them. Like you know what I'm saying, it could be a lot of shit. But like, trust me, like an air sign, if they cheat on you, they just didn't want to fucking tell you. And at the same time, they are like fucking horns, and they're like, there's a trick in our brain. They're like, you know, say concept of Lilith. It's like, I use the concept of Lilith from Mystique. There's a character in X-Men called Mystique, and it's like a female who can switch bodies. So she gets like a shapeshifter. You know what I'm saying? So an air sign, that's kind of how, like, an air sign male, you know what I'm saying, when they untrained, when they don't have a trained eye, that's kind of how they see females. And they're like they feel like they go out and, you know, there's a whole bunch of people walking around. Like, they're looking at this woman, they're looking at that woman, they're looking at her, looking at her tits, looking. And they don't know, in their mind's eye, it's really all just one chick. It's fucking Lilith. It's a lust. It's just one chick, but it's like it's really jumping from person to person. I use concept of H. Smith to describe this in male forms and how like energy jumps from person to person. Where in like lust situations, it's kind of the same shit, and they're like there's one archetype sitting up inside you, which is lust and Lilith. But like the female is changing, so it's like, man, I want to fuck her, 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 I want to fuck her. Damn, I would love to fuck her, I would love to fuck her. It's really all the same chick. You know what I'm saying? It's really, it's like Mystique. It's like, but it's just chick. It's like, over air signs don't notice what's going on in their head. Like, they don't know this trick. So, they literally gonna try to fuck all these women. Like, you see what I'm saying? Especially like a Libra's be addicted to porn. It's like porn is the way that the motherfuckers sit up all night watching like fucking porn. They watch like fucking 9, 10, fucking 20 different scenes. Like, you're not gonna run to a guy and watch the same porn over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? Because they like to see the change, like the woman has to change. Matter of fact, the Native Americans had a concept called the changing woman. It's based on the weather. I ain't get too deep into that, but it's kind of like based on the same concept of like weather, the changing woman. But like what the Grills did, the motherfucking, like the Zionists and the Jews and the December's and shit, they took a concept of Mystique, and they really made a changing woman type shit, but it's really giving you that symbol of like misplaced lust inside of your subconscious, which is really good. So like, you want to fuck all of these women. Like, you watching music videos all day, you watching pornos all day, create this effect of this Lilith that they got inside of it. That's what you gotta understand. Like, air signs are like Lilith, and they're not like Eve or Adam per se, and they're like a man